Chapter 171. Let's not talk about this first. Uncle, I brought a lot of spirit stones this time, which can make up for the flaws in your cultivation. There are also some elixirs that can completely increase your vitality without any side effect. Wang Rulai's tone changed and his eyes were filled with coldness. The reason why I came to Earth this time was to open up a market and transport goods, and also to deal with the Jiang family. When Uncle was captured, I'm afraid the Jiang family was behind it. If it wasn't for Jiang Nalan, how could the human government dare to come to our Wang family to capture people? That's right, Jiang Nalan is very powerful. The Jiang family relied on him to develop until now. He is a spirit master and a vision domain expert. Other than our Wang family's old ancestor, there hasn't been a second human who can reach the vision domain. Wang Changrong thought about it carefully and tapped his fingers on the table, as if he was grasping the difference in strength between the two sides. Once a vision domain expert appears in the family, it represents glory, greatness, and immortality. There are only a few human spirit masters, and the Jiang family has one, so the Jiang family is very terrifying and has great potential for future development. However, he shouldn't have gone against our Wang family. Wang Rulai's tone was very fierce. It was obvious that he had a lot of resentment towards the Jiang family. He thought that our old ancestor, Wang Chao, would never come back or had fallen. Wang Changrong's heart was clear as he slowly said, "After all, Jiang Nalan is still active in the high-level politics of humanity. He is a vice president with great power and can provide more convenience for the Jiang family. Fortunately, the battlefield in the cultivation world has attracted his attention, so he is under a lot of pressure. Otherwise, when he returns to human society, who knows how big the Jiang family will become. Uncle, it's more important for you to increase your strength now. Brother Jiangli, I'll have to trouble you to take out the wood, metal, earth, wind, fire, lightning, and water-attributed spirit stones from the space. I specially prepared them for Uncle." Wang Rulai's tone was full of regret. Although Uncle is in the stable state, it's a pity that his vitality is too weak. The spirit stones I brought this time are specially used to replenish the 5 elemental energies. There's also a 5-energy convergence pill that I bought for 3 billion spirit stones. It's also specially prepared for Uncle. This pill was refined by an expert alchemist from the cultivation world. 5 Qis unification pill. Wang Changrong was also slightly moved. This pill is amazing. It's a cultivation method. A person in the embryonic breathing realm had to gather the 5 Qis of the void, use countless medicinal herbs, and use their own flaming blood spirit to refine for at least 60 years before they could refine 1 cauldron. 1 cauldron could refine at most 5 pills. Our human science and technology are unable to analyze the components, and we are unable to mass-produce them. I'm just an old man, why would I need to eat such good medicine? Uncle, you're only 60 years old now. How old are you? Wang Rulai retorted and took a box from Jiangli. This box was made of metal, and there were many strange patterns on its surface that could seal energy and prevent it from leaking. Wang Rulai pressed a button on it. After a while, the box slowly opened. There were 7 spirit stones and a pill inside. These items were all priceless, and even Jiangli was very envious of them. These were all good items that couldn't be bought with spirit stones. Even if one occasionally appeared, it would be fought over by people, and its value would soar countless times in the auction. At that moment, a fragrance filled the air from the box. When Jiangli smelled it, he felt relaxed and happy. There seemed to be a clear qi rising from his internal organs and condensing into the shape of a baby. This kind of medicine is simply nature-defying. He was shocked as he looked at the pill in the box. The aroma came from the pill. It was the legendary 5 Qis gathering pill that only cultivators could refine. It had 5 colors and was somewhat similar to the exquisite flower. The 5-energy convergence pill originally had the 5-colored exquisite flower as a medicinal herb. Of course, there were many other precious medicinal herbs, which were rare treasures in the world. This pill was colorful and the size of a longan. Its whole body emitted a colorful light and fragrance. As soon as people smelled the fragrance, they would feel comfortable all over and their blood and veins would become soft, like a dragon soaring in the clouds. This was a medicine that modern technology could not produce, because it contained the spirit and soul of a cultivator. Cultivators cultivated day and night, and their blood, soul, and spirit were integrated into the depths of the elixir, causing the elixir to contain a strange energy, which was spirituality. Modern technology couldn't simulate this spirituality. Even if the same materials were used to make pills with the same structure, the effect would not be as good as 1/10,000th of this pill. This was also a problem that modern technology couldn't solve, and this problem involved the soul grafting technology. Of course, scientists were working hard to solve this problem. Good pill, good pill. Wang Changrong grabbed it, and the pill flew into his hand. This was also a kind of airflow manipulation. He carefully observed it and didn't eat it. Suddenly, he raised his head and handed the pill to Jiangli, saying, "Jiangli, take this pill." "Me?" Jiangli was shocked and waved his hand. "Old man, this thing is too precious. I don't dare to accept it. It's more important for you to increase your life force. I have enough life force now, so why should I take this pill? Since the Wang family's ancestor appeared because of you, it means that there must be a reason. The stronger you are, the better." Wang Changrong's wisdom was like a torch and his tone was slow. The 5 energies gathering pill can nourish one's life force potential. I can already see that there are 5 extremely strong energies in your body, which are the flying swords. However, the flying swords themselves have too much gold qi, which kills cells, and it's very difficult to fuse with the blood. After you take the 5 energies gathering pill, you can fuse the 5 swords into one. Although you still can't fuse the swords into one, your combat power and life force potential will be greatly increased. Old man is so considerate of me, it really makes me feel ashamed. Jiangli said with a resolute expression, "But I definitely won't take this pill. I've already received a lot of kindness from old man. Although we've helped each other, and there's no need to thank me with words, I'm afraid that if you ask me to accept more, I'm afraid my heart will retreat." "Fine, fine, since you've made up your mind, I won't force it." When Wang Changrong saw that Jiangli was using the spirit retreat to convince him, he gave up and took the pill. As soon as the pill entered his mouth, a 5-colored light appeared on his body, and a halo appeared behind him. Large amounts of 5 energies emerged from his body, gathering without dispersing, gathering above his head to form the shape of a baby. 5 energies gathering pill. The 5 energies fused with his 5 viscera and 6 bowels, from the inside out, gradually improving his body's potential. Spirit stones come. Subsequently, Wang Changrong waved his hand again, and the airflow pulled 7 spirit stones with attributes into his hand. He swallowed them one by one, and suddenly his body flashed with lightning and thunder, wind and fire roared, and strange phenomena appeared everywhere. His body was calcined in the wind and fire, tempered in the thunder and lightning, and nourished by the spirit stones of the metal, earth, wood, and water attributes. Jiangli seemed to see that many impurities in Wang Changrong's body were evaporated, and the cells in his body were wriggling. His whole body began to regain youthful vitality, and his vitality showed a parabolic increase. Originally, Wang Changrong's vitality was 5, but after a while, it increased to 5. 5, then 6, then 7, and finally 8 before slowly stabilizing. Wang Rulai looked at the software on the chip that tested vitality and was overjoyed. In the end, all the energy was absorbed into Wang Changrong's body. In this short period of time, he looked at least 20 years younger, and his vitality had also increased to 8. He could completely tear apart a mecha with his bare hand. Moreover, his brain cells were at least several times stronger, so the number of people and range of hypnosis would definitely be larger. Congratulations, uncle, your vitality has increased to 8. However, there is still some energy that hasn't been refined. After a long period of recuperation, it will definitely increase to double digits within a month. Wang Rulai closed the software, his joy evident on his face. This is a miracle. His vitality has increased by 3 in such a short period of time. It's not easy for us to increase it by 0.1. Ji Qingwu was extremely shocked and couldn't believe it. Lu Han and Shiren were also dumbfounded. Only Lei Zheng and Jiang Li were relatively calm. As long as the spiritual realm is there, everything will come naturally. Wang Changrong waved his hand. The most important thing is the spiritual realm. If the spiritual realm is not there, no matter how many resources the body obtains, it will be useless. Once the spiritual realm is there, as long as there are enough resources, it is not impossible to become a Buddha immediately. Jiang Li naturally understood this. Brother Wang, let's count the goods. Immediately, he moved out many goods and robots from the space and piled them up in the warehouse, ready to sell. Some of the resources were not prohibited items, such as precious wood and metals, which could be traded through the company and auctioned through the human government's tax system. With so many robots, the construction of the island would also speed up. You guys discuss how to wipe out the black market. I'll go see my parents first. Jiang Li said and couldn't wait to go home. Of course, his family has now moved. They no longer live in Star City, but under this island. He rushed downstairs and saw his mother in the living room. His father, Jiang Zhendong, was adjusting the equipment in a huge laboratory. Beside him, there were many researchers, all of them busy nervously. My good son, you are finally back. His mother smiled. As soon as she saw Jiang Li, she pulled him up and down to see if he had lost weight or if he had any injuries. When she saw that Jiang Li was tall and strong, and there was nothing wrong with him, she felt relieved and began to ask about life at Star University and how the various training was. Jiang Li hurriedly made up a lie. This was a white lie. If he told his mother that he was cut in half at the waist, beheaded, and killed Jiang Tianhe, wouldn't she be scared to death? At home, she was in a constant state of anxiety, worried to death. Ali, have you finished discussing with Mr. Kurong? Your father is studying the production process of the sun and moon essence and familiarizing himself with the program. Your sister is in school and is now studying in the best high school in Jinghua City. She can't find time to come home, but you can find a chance to visit her. Unfortunately, there is still no news of Tao. Instead, the military has sent a message every few days, saying that he is safe and sound. Well, I see. I'll go see my father. Jiang Li and his mother talked for a while and walked into the huge laboratory. The laboratory was separated by a few feet of anti-radiation glass. It was more than 100,000 square meters. This kind of construction can't even be broken by small missiles. As soon as Jiang Li entered the laboratory, he saw his father analyzing all kinds of data. The optical computer was calculating some extremely advanced equations. Even he could only understand a small part of it. He looked at his father carefully and realized that his father had become younger. It seemed like he had been taking good care of himself. He was energetic, his mind was active, and his vitality had reached 0.9. It seemed like Wang Changrong would take care of his father's body sometimes. Dad, I'm back. Got it. Go and do what you need to do. I'm busy here. We'll talk later. Jiang Zhendong raised his head and looked at his son. He then buried his head in analyzing the data. Why is there a problem with this set of data? Someone, Shaoli, come here. You are the one who researched this set of data. Take a look. What are you researching? A researcher hurried over and was scolded by Jiang Zhendong. After scolding for a while, Jiang Zhendong turned around and said to another researcher, "The reaction of this drug is not the same as the human body's hormones. It seems like we need to conduct clinical trials." Jiang Li didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He knew that his father had entered the state of a mad scientist. Chapter 172. Jiang Li didn't disturb his father's scientific research anymore and quietly left the laboratory. He was very pleased. He could tell that this was the life his father wanted. He would only live happily if he could conduct scientific research non-stop. Everyone had their own pursuits and their definition of happiness was different. "Mom, is Dad okay with his crazy work?" Back in the living room, Jiang Li began to chat with his mother again. "Don't worry, your father is happy. He wants to do scientific research every day. He has been suppressing it for 20 years, but I have never seen him so happy. The busier he is, the happier he is. After all, his wish has been realized. Your father was born to do research. He is a great scientist." His mother also had a happy expression on her face. "Your father is very happy now. Don't worry, all you have to do is protect this happiness. Happiness doesn't need money or material things, but to be able to do what you like. That is enough. Happiness is when one's dream can be realized in the material world." Jiang Li looked at his father's back as he hurried about. Suddenly, he understood something. At this moment, his father was happy. Everyone has their dream. When their dream can be realized in the material world, that is called happiness. Jiang Li thought of his father's state just now and muttered to himself, "A poor man wants to eat his fill. When he is really full, his dream will be realized, and that is happiness. A man pursues his beloved goddess. At that moment, he is also happy. Therefore, the smaller the wish, the easier it is to realize it in the material world. They are more likely to feel happiness. As for the big shots, their dreams and wishes are too big and not easy to realize. Perhaps in the depths of their hearts, they don't have the happiness of the small people." A person had a wish. This wish was realized in the material world. That was happiness, satisfaction, spiritual joy, and understanding. But what if a person had no desire? What would his mental state be like? No desire, great peace, great happiness. When you have no desire, you don't need to realize it in the material world. Your spirit will always be in happiness, eternity, and happiness. What kind of realm is this? Jiang Li was both enlightened and confused. In a daze, he seemed to have grasped a key point of spiritual cultivation. He was just a paper-thin gap away from breaking through, but he just couldn't. It was so uncomfortable to hang it in his heart like this. Wish. The physical realm. Come true. Happiness. Maintain the feeling of happiness at all times. Jiang Li knew that as long as he broke through this layer of paper, his spiritual cultivation would rise to a new level. He might even be able to advance to the state of constant tranquility, the bodhisattva of the 8 earthly realms, never retreating. Right now, his brain cells were very powerful. His spirit was at great calm, far surpassing other experts at great calm. He could even fight against 6 experts at the same level as him and completely defeat them. However, he was still unable to comprehend constant calm. Chongding was a threshold. After crossing this threshold, one would become a big shot. Even in Starry Sky University, if you can comprehend eternal stability, your status will be completely different. You can even leave the identity of a student and become a mentor to teach students. That was because Chongding's realm was one where his heart would never regress. He was still a powerful figure, and his cultivation did not regress at all. It was simply too terrifying. Many experts, when they encountered sad events or had their Tao heart broken, they would never be able to recover. But Chongding was different. No matter how many times he failed, he could always make a comeback. Failure was not scary. What was scary was losing confidence because of failure. Chongding's people were not afraid of failure. Any organization or the government would prioritize recruiting such people. Of course, this realm was very difficult. It belonged to the Bodhisattva path. How could it be so easy to become a Bodhisattva? Although Jiangli had all kinds of fortuitous encounters, he was still far from Chongding. But he would often have new insights, which was also a good thing. "I'm going to the school to see my sister," Jiangli said to his mother and left the building. He drove his flying car away from the island and headed to Jinghua High School. He wanted to see how much vitality his sister had. He hoped that his sister could also enter Starry Sky University. That way, there would be another pillar of support for the family. Woo woo woo. The flying car stopped outside Jinghua High School and began to land. Jiangli had to stop because a warning sign appeared in the air. It showed that Jinghua High School's airspace. No flying objects were allowed to pass through or fly in the airspace. "It's really impressive, even the airspace is blocked." Jiangli could only stop the car. Seeing that many people also flew here, he began to slowly land. He couldn't exceed the airspace. Below was a large parking lot. Jiangli parked the car and walked to the school gate. He saw regular police wearing mechas standing guard. Strict screening, ordinary people simply can't enter the school. This is more strict than Xinghua High School. At least in Xinghua High School, flying cars can fly into the school at will. Because there are very few flying cars in Xinghua City, even fewer people are qualified to drive them. "Stop, who are you? You have to apply to enter the school first." A policeman came over and began to question Jiangli, making the whole high school seem like a military-restricted area. In fact, this Jinghua High School is even more strict than a military-restricted area. Even universities can't compare. Because this high school is the hope of all Asians on Earth. Every year, there will be several Starry Sky University students. What are college students on Earth? There is no hope of entering Starry Sky University. Therefore, high school is the most important. "I'm looking for my sister." Jiangli took out the chip and obediently accepted the interrogation. When the policeman saw that Jiangli's chip turned out to be golden, he was so surprised that he quickly took it with both hands, and then swiped the optical computer. The first line was, "Starry Sky University student, Jiangli, all kinds of information, top secret." Jiangli? He seemed to have heard of Jiangli. He was so surprised that he even stuttered a little. He quickly and respectfully returned the chip to Jiangli. "I'm sorry, please come in, but I hope you don't cause a sensation. Don't worry, my sister is studying here. I'm just here to see her." Jiangli nodded, naturally having the temperament of a big shot. This is because he has been in contact with too many big shots. Unknowingly, he has become a high-ranking member of human society. Even he himself didn't notice these changes. The policeman quickly let him in. Jiangli walked into the campus. He was 1.9 meters tall, which was average among the students, so he didn't attract much attention. The students of Jinghua High School were the cream of the crop. The campus was huge, and students of both genders gathered in groups of 3 to 5, brimming with youth and passion. Jiangli sent an email to his sister, Jiang Xian. After a while, he heard his sister's surprised voice. "Brother, you're here? That's great, I'm still in class. There's still an hour before class ends. Come wait for me outside the classroom on the 30th floor of Building 9. "No problem." Jiangli wanted to see how Jinghua High School taught the heart and soul class. He quickly took the campus light rail to Building 9, and then took the elevator to the 30th floor. There, he saw a huge classroom that could accommodate tens of thousands of students. All the students were wearing white school uniforms, sitting barefoot on a blanket, doing spiritual training. The teacher was lecturing on the podium. The teacher was a man in his 40s. Today's class is on the path of prajna. Prajna means wisdom. The pronunciation of the word comes from ancient Sanskrit. It's not pronounced ban ruo. It's pronounced bo ri. Remember, languages and incantations have unimaginable power. The vibration of the sound can shake the soul. Human scholars have specialized in the study of sound, and have come up with a set of prajna mantras that can shake the soul. Today we'll practice it. The teacher was lecturing on a class that used incantations to cleanse the soul. Teacher, I have a question. A girl raised her hand. Jiang Li's eyes flashed. It was his sister, Jiang Xian, who had raised the question. Jiang Xian, what question do you have? The teacher nodded kindly. The Diamond Sutra says that all forms are fabricated. Buddha says that using sound to seek help from me is evil, and one cannot see the Buddha. That's why I feel that no matter if it's Ban, Ruo or Bo, Ri, it's a crooked path to force too much on the pronunciation. Jiang Xian raised a question. Sixth Patriarch Huaining doesn't even know how to read, but he is proficient in all kinds of doctrines. He said that the profound doctrines of Buddhism have nothing to do with word. I feel that the path of prajna lies in the heart, and has nothing to do with pronunciation. Not bad, not bad. The teacher smiled happily. You've actually comprehended to this level. It's beyond my expectations. However, if one's realm was high, they would be able to prove prajna with their heart. The other students wouldn't be able to do so. They had to first use pronunciation to cleanse their hearts before they would understand that pronunciation was a burden. For example, if you wanted to cross a river, you had to use a boat. After crossing the river, you could abandon the boat, but those who hadn't crossed the river could never abandon the boat. Otherwise, they would encounter a disaster and all sorts of calamities. Good and bad, good and evil, all kinds of voices are in the world. If you understand that all things are void, you can abandon them. If you don't, you must follow the right path. Thank you, teacher. I understand. Jiang Xian sat down cross-legged, her expression was calm, and there were no more doubts. When Jiang Li heard this course, he also nodded secretly. He didn't learn the prajna mantra in high school. It was a profound language mantra, integrated with the heart and shook the soul. He didn't expect that Jinghua High School had this kind of course. No wonder the number of students admitted to Starry Sky University was the first in 36 cities. However, these mantras were no longer useful to Jiang Li. His cultivation was beyond the mantra, and he was purely using his heart to confirm the realm of the heavenly heart. An hour passed quickly, and the bell rang. The teacher of the spiritual class also left, and many students left the classroom one after another. Brother! Jiang Xian saw Jiang Li at a glance, and quickly rushed over, hugged her brother, and kissed him on the cheek. She was now more than 1.8 meters tall, extremely tall, and was a real beauty. After becoming the apprentice of Wang Changrong, she was cultivated with great efforts, and became the goddess of Xinghua High School, with many suitors. Sister, your vitality is not bad. If I'm not wrong, it should be 1.5. You're only a freshman in high school, but you can already compete with some of the best in the third year. Jiang Li's eyes swept over, and immediately saw Jiang Xian's vitality wave after wave, like a long river, exuberant and endless. Hey, your sister is amazing, isn't she? Brother, let's go to the school lounge first to talk. There are too many people here. Jiang Xian grabbed Jiang Li's hand and began to lead the way. I want to hear what Starry Sky University is like. Jiang Xian and Jiang Li's intimate state fell into the eyes of many students. Oh, my God! Why is the goddess Jiang Xian so intimate with this man? A student seemed to have suffered a painful blow. Chapter 173. When Jiang Li heard the male student's words, he burst into laughter and teased, "Little sister, you're very popular now, the school's goddess. An influential figure? Hee, of course, your little sister is smart and cute. The number of people chasing after me can line up from here to Starry Sky University." Jiang Xian proudly boasted and intimately held onto Jiang Li's arm. When she spoke happily, she even rubbed her face against his shoulder, as if she was acting coquettishly towards her older brother. This attracted the attention of the students passing by. Jiang Li walked through the school grounds. Although he seemed to be around the same age, his temperament was completely different from the youthful high school students. His body naturally carried a kind of outstanding temperament, indifferent, calm, and steady. It was a temperament tempered by life and death situations. The students were obviously very interested in the relationship between Jiang Li and Jiang Xian. One after another turned their heads to look, full of speculation. Big brother, quickly tell me about the environment of Starry Sky University. What have you experienced during this time? Jiang Xian didn't seem to care about other people's views and opinions, doing things her own way, very indifferent. The brother and sister chatted and laughed as they walked towards the leisure hall. The comfortable and gorgeous leisure hall. Soothing music surrounded the surroundings. The tables and chairs were made of precious wood, the fragrance assailing the nose. A little girl student brought over 2 cups of tea. The tea was fragrant, the smoke lingering, and there was a faint spiritual energy emitting from it. It was spirit tea, very expensive, although it couldn't compare to the various teas of Starry Sky University. It was simply a treasure for the people of Earth. This was the school's specialty. Relaxing here can soothe one's spirit and relieve fatigue. Jinghua High School specially prepared a leisure hall to let the students in a state of tension completely relax. Of course, resting here costs money. The price is not cheap, a few $100 an hour. The cost of the tea is extra. Gusts of breeze swirled in the hall, bringing with them a fragrance, as if caressing the human body, even blowing into the acupuncture points of the human body, making people feel as if they were walking on clouds. This is a kind of chi massage. The breeze, the fragrance, all emitted by special machines and spices, and controlled by the energy optical computer, specially massaging the various acupuncture points of the human body. Even Jiang Li nodded to himself. As an ordinary area, it was already very good to have such a leisure place. Brother, you must be enjoying your time in Starry Sky University. Do you think this place is very unsophisticated? Jiang Xian was very curious, her face full of expectation. I really want to take the exam in advance and quickly enter Starry Sky University. Now all the teachers in the school say that I am qualified to take the exam. Please don't. Take your time to accumulate. Don't do it in one go. Jiang Li immediately stopped him. He remembered the danger he faced when he applied for the Starry Sky University. Even with the great emperor's relic, he almost died. He was almost eaten several times on Rakshasa Star, and many students died because of it. Jiang Xian's current vitality was only 1.5. Although it was considered very strong on Earth, it was still not enough to protect herself. In particular, Starry Sky University's exams are getting stricter and crueler every year, and the elimination rate is also getting higher. You need at least 2 vitality to take the test, understand? Jiang Li's tone became strict. And you also need a few trump cards, otherwise I will absolutely not allow you to take the exam. You are only in the first year of high school, you have a lot of time to train and study. Got it, I will. Jiang Xian curled her lips, not daring to disobey. You have already meditated and have your own ideas. It's useless for me to say these words to you. Jiang Li looked around and found that the students who came here to relax were all very strong. All of them had vitality of 1 and above, and the average quality was higher than the batch of students who took the exam in Beijing. At that time, there were experts like Yu Muhua and the others in Beijing, but only Jiang Lu had reached 2 vitality, and it was forcibly increased by genetic potions. Brother, there are a lot of experts in the 3rd year of high school now, and some of them even have vitality of 2. They are much stronger than the previous batch. The students now are advancing by leaps and bounds, and each batch is stronger than the previous one. Jiang Xian introduced the situation of her school to Jiang Li. This is to be expected. In the era of Mom and Dad, a vitality of 1 was already the highest a high school student could achieve. Now, although 1 is also a big shot, it is not as valued as before. Jiang Li knew that humans were constantly improving and developing, and with every passing year, the average quality would greatly improve. His eyes looked through the cultivation room, and it was as if he could see the seething luck in the unseen world. That's right, it was luck. The luck of all of Beijing High School, the luck of all of Beijing, and even the luck of the entire human race seemed to be visible. Prosperity was rising day by day, flowers were blooming, and oil was being added to the fire. Luck was illusory, but it really existed. In ancient times, brilliant Taoists could see the luck of the entire dynasty, and thus judge the rise and fall of the dynasty. What exactly was luck? It was the people's hearts, resources, and a force that gathered people together and changed the future in the unseen world. This force was more difficult to understand than the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, and it was not even hidden in the second dimension, but hidden in a deeper dimension. With Jiang Li's current cultivation, he could not see it at all. However, after a moment of comprehension, he gradually felt the essence of this illusory thing. It was rumored that the SS-ranked martial arts of humans did not absorb spiritual energy, but from a deeper dimension, absorbing destiny and condensing it into an invincible force. What kind of realm was this martial art? Brother, what are you thinking about? Jiang Xian saw that Jiang Li was in a daze and said with a smirk, "Which beauty are you staring at? By the way, how is your development with the two beauties, Luohan and Serene? Do you want me to introduce you to other beauties? There are a lot of little beauties in our school, hee. You don't study all day, and what nonsense are you thinking about?" Jiang Li came to his senses and scolded with a smile. "Also, I'm warning you, you're not allowed to date. You're still young, and you should focus on your studies. I don't even have time for this now, let alone you. If you have a boyfriend, don't blame me for breaking you up." "I don't." Jiang Xian rolled her eyes. "I don't like these superficial boys." "That's good." Jiang Li took a sip of spirit tea and found that this tea was indeed grown on a planet full of spiritual energy. In the depths of the tea leaves, there was a subtle trace of imperceptible spiritual energy that could be integrated into the body. Of course, compared to the authentic spirit stones, it was still worlds apart. "Sister, here are a few spirit stones. Keep them well, I brought them from Starry Sky University." Jiang Li took out a small bag and threw it to Jiang Xian. "Spirit stones?" Jiang Xian's breathing stagnated. She reached out to open it, but then stopped, looked around, and put away the bag. Although spirit stones were not forbidden in human society, they were very rare. 1 gram cost 10 million star dollars, and without a strong relationship, it was impossible to buy them. "Hey! Xian, who is this? It's not easy, you actually made an exception to sit together with a boy." Suddenly, a girl's voice came. A tall and slender girl slowly walked over. This girl was 1.9 meters tall and had a well-proportioned figure. Her hair was neither too long nor too short. She wore a short school skirt and snow-white running shoes, and her legs were smooth and delicate. The moment she appeared, she dazzled the eyes of everyone in the lounge. "It's Senior Dyer." Jiang Xian hurriedly stood up. "Why do you have time to relax today? Thank you for helping me get rid of that annoying boy last time. He's so troublesome. Those boys are like flies, buzzing around you all day, so annoying." "That's a small matter." Senior Dyer walked forward and looked at Jiang Li discreetly. I'm Jiang Xian's friend. I'm studying at a university in another city. I just happened to come back and have something to do, so I came to see Jiang Xian." Jiang Li stood up and politely extended his hand. He did not want to expose his identity to avoid causing a commotion. Dyer also extended her hand to shake Jiang Li's. "Ah, so you're a university senior. You can call me Dyer. How should I address you?" "Wang Li." Jiang Li slightly concealed his name and greeted. "Junior Dyer is a senior in high school, right? Take good care of Jiang Xian in the future." As they shook hands, He could feel Dai-er's strong vitality. It should be 1-8-2. This kind of person was very, very strong. Senior Dai-er is one of the most influential people in our school. Jiang Xian hurriedly introduced. She has 100% chance of getting into Star University. Xian, don't talk nonsense. Dai-er hurriedly waved her hand. Her aura was extraordinary, and she inadvertently gave off an air of arrogance. Star University's exams are getting stricter every year. Last year, several of our school's top students died, including Yu Muhua and Jiang Lu. Who knows what exam it will be this year? Yu Muhua and Jiang Lu were actually killed by Jiang Li, but the people outside did not know and thought they died in the trial. Senior Dai-er, have a seat. Jiang Xian gave her a seat. After Dai-er sat down, she looked at Jiang Li again. During the handshake just now, she felt that Jiang Li had an unfathomable aura. She couldn't help but feel puzzled. With her ability, she was above many ordinary people and was one of the best in human society. Even if she didn't apply to Starry Sky University, she could directly enter a government agency or hold a military rank in the army without going to university. Other than Star University, she didn't even care about ordinary university students. Xian, I heard that you're on a date with a man, so I came here to see who is so outstanding that he can win your favor? Dai-er said. It's not a date. He's my best friend, not my boyfriend. Jiang Xian smiled mischievously. But every time Sister Dai-er comes to see me, it must be something good. Is it training? Yes, there is training. Our circle is discussing going to the black market. On one hand, we can gain experience, and on the other hand, we can participate in an auction to see if there are any good things there. Dai-er asked the waitress to serve a cup of spirit tea and casually took out a piece of star yuan, which was a tip of 50 star yuan, and gave it to the waitress. The waitress immediately bowed. Thank you, Senior Dai-er. Thank you. These waitresses were also students, and they were doing part-time jobs at the university. 50 star yuan was equivalent to an ordinary person's monthly salary. It was not a small amount, but Dai-er gave it to the waitress as a tip. Going to the black market? There are no laws there, and human lives are treated like grass. Jiang Xian subconsciously glanced at her brother and hesitated. It's very dangerous. If it's not dangerous, how can we gain experience? Star University's exam is even more dangerous. Dai-er didn't seem worried at all. With our skills, we don't have to be afraid of the black market. If you don't have the guts, then you don't have to take the exam. I have already contacted a few good companions, and it's a good experience. We're going now. Your vitality is already one of the best in the university. Let's go together. You're right. I'll go too. Jiang Xian was moved. I also want to see what the black market looks like. Be prepared to kill. Dai-er's tone suddenly turned cold. Xian, you haven't killed anyone yet, right? No. Jiang Xian felt a chill run down her spine. You will definitely have to kill people in the black market. This is also a psychological barrier. After you break through it, you will become more powerful. Dai-er stood up and said to Jiang Li. I'm sorry, Xian and I have to go for training. Let's talk later. Earth's black market is a good place. There are no laws. I also want to see it. Jiang Li smiled. Let's go together. Chapter 174. Together? You want to go to the black market with us? Daphne looked at Jiang Li confusedly. Hearing this, Jiang Xian jumped up and clapped her hands. Great. Let's go together. Okay. Daphne nodded. Let's go to the training room and get ready. Jiang Li didn't say anything, silently following behind her. His little sister wanted to go to the black market, so he naturally had to protect her at all times to prevent any problems from occurring. The current situation of the black market was very complicated. Many major powers had entered it, and the Jiang family had once again taken control of the black market. Their influence was growing, and the sales of the Sun Moon essence were increasing. Money was simply rolling in like water. He came back this time to defeat the Jiang family so that his Red Emperor group could control the black market and make a lot of money. It was better to go to the black market with this opportunity. In the training room, a few young men and women were getting ready. Each of them had a powerful aura. Xian Xian is here? A tall male student saw Jiang Xian and his eyes brightened. My name is Jiang Xian. Who is Xian Xian? Jiang Xian snorted. This tall male student had an imposing appearance. He was tall and sturdy, giving off a domineering aura. There was also confidence between his brows. It was obvious that he had never failed since he was young. His family environment was excellent. Who is he? The tall male student saw Jiang Li next to Jiang Xian. His face turned extremely cold. There was even a hint of murderous intent in his eyes. Jiang Li had a whole new level of respect for this male student. He had killed people before and his mind was filled with the smell of blood. He was not an ordinary person. Okay. This is Jiang Xian's friend. He will go to the black market with us. Daphne snapped her fingers. Him? I don't think he is a student of our school. The tall male student's expression changed. This is a secret operation. It's not good to let an outsider get involved. Emo-chan, what does this have to do with you? Jiang Xian had a sharp tongue. What secret operation? You can go alone. I will go with Daphne. Daphne, it's not good to call an outsider, another male student said quietly. This male student was mature and polite. He looked like a senior manager of a company. However, his eyes occasionally showed that he was not an ordinary person. Nonsense. A girl raised her head and looked up and down at Jiang Li. She smiled and said, Since you're Xuanxuan's friend, of course you can join us. Even Sister Dyer said it's okay, so why are you objecting, Zhao Xiao? The girl walked over and extended her hand to Jiang Li. Hello, I'm Han Yun. Wang Li. Jiang Li shook her hand politely. He had a good impression of this girl. Pretend I didn't say anything. Zhao Xiao was mature and steady. Silence is golden. On the other hand, the tall boy named Emo-chan seemed to be very uncomfortable, but he no longer objected. Is everyone ready? Let's go when you're ready. Daphne put on her sportswear jacket. She waved at everyone and started to leave the school. Jiang Li guessed that there were 5 people in this team, 3 women and 2 men. Jiang Xian, Daphne, Han Yun, Emo-chan, Zhao Xiao. Of course, there was also himself, so there were 3 men and 3 women. On the train heading towards the black market of Suhua City. Xian Xian, the black market is very dangerous. Let me protect you. Emo-chan squeezed his way through the crowd on the train. There were all kinds of people on the train. However, they were on a train, and every carriage was strictly checked by soldiers. It was still within the scope of the law. Once they got off the train, it would be hard to say. I said, don't call me Xian Xian. Besides, I have people protecting me. Jiang Xian moved and hid behind Jiang Li. At this time, Emo-chan had already walked over. He leaned against Jiang Li and transmitted his voice into Jiang Li's ears. Kid, who are you? I'm warning you, you won't have a good ending if you try to steal Xian Xian from me. You're too impatient. You have a bad personality. I won't let you pursue Jiang Xian no matter what. From now on, you better not harass her. Jiang Li smiled. As her brother, he could tell that Emo-chan wasn't reliable at first glance. You're very arrogant. Emo-chan was stunned. Then, he laughed sinisterly. Funny, this is too funny. You actually dare to threaten me. When we get to the black market, just don't be scared. Good luck. I'll say it again. Don't harass Jiang Xian again. Jiang Li's tone was light. Very good. Emo-chan said these 2 words and turned around, as if he was swallowing his anger. However, Jiang Li knew that he would definitely make things difficult for him when they arrived at the black market. Ding dong. A bell rang, followed by a broadcast. We have arrived at our destination, Suhua City. All passengers and friends, please get ready to get off the train. There is radiation in Suhua City. Please prepare anti-radiation medicine. There is no law in Suhua City. Please pay attention to your personal safety. At the same time, I hope you can turn back. Don't get off the train and continue to take this train back. The broadcast was played over and over again. It was a warning to all passengers, hoping that they could turn back. Every year, the death rate of passengers who came to Suhua City was very high. However, the number of passengers who came to Suhua City did not decrease. Instead, it increased, causing the entire black market to expand. If it wasn't for the fact that the human government tried its best to reduce the space of the black market, the scope of the entire black market would probably expand. Let's get off the train. We have arrived at the black market. Everyone, be careful. Keep your spirits up. Daphne got off the train without hesitation. She seemed to be very familiar with the black market. She didn't speak a word on the train. She just watched the conversation between Imo-chan and Jiang Li coldly. She didn't stop them. It seemed that she wanted to see how strong the two were. The black market has changed a lot. Many abandoned buildings have begun to be renovated. The lights are bright and the music is everywhere. Jiang Li returned to the familiar black market. However, the scene in front of him was a little strange. This is the first time you have come to the black market, right? Are you students? The black market is very dangerous. However, we have very good bodyguards here. As long as you pay, we can protect you. 3 men and 3 women got off the train. In the crowded train station, more than 10 big men immediately surrounded them. The big man at the front was full of enthusiasm, but his triangular eyes were flashing coldly. When he saw these 3 young people, he thought that they were students who didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. This kind of student was a big fat sheep that could be slaughtered. Every year, many students from schools on Earth wanted to see the black market. Many of them went missing or were killed. In the eyes of ignorant students, the black market was dangerous and exciting. It had become a tourist attraction. Even people from other planets wanted to come to Earth's Suhua City to have a look at the lawless black market. This was because there was no such black market on the outer planet. Every city had strict laws, order, and rules. Under the restriction of the law, many young people were rebellious. They all wanted to go to a place outside the law. Little girl, I will protect you. Come with us. The big man at the front saw Daphne. His eyes suddenly turned evil. He actually came up to her. You are courting death. Suddenly, Imo-chan attacked. He grabbed with his 5 fingers. It was the dragon claw capture. It was a fierce move. Like a tornado, a fire dragon spitting pearls. Suddenly, the air was filled with the sound of swords and knives cutting each other. Crack! The big man's arms were broken. Then, Imo-chan stretched his arms. Poochie! Poochie! The 10 big men all screamed and fell to the ground. Blood flowed from their eyes. They groaned in pain. Their eyeballs had been dug out by Imo-chan. Fierce and fierce. Imo-chan's attack showed his strength and methods. In the blink of an eye, the fire dragon's spitting pearls flashed. He had actually attacked more than 10 times. Let's go. These scum are blind. Let's teach them a lesson. Seeing the eyeballs and blood on the ground, Imo-chan's expression didn't change. He took out a white towel and wiped his hand. He casually threw it on the ground and looked at Jiang Li. In his opinion, Jiang Li must be scared out of his wits. However, he was disappointed. Jiang Li's expression was calm and his tone was cold. Let's hurry up and leave. It's not good to be in the limelight like this. Many people are watching us. These 10 or so burly men are members of an organization. If we dig out their eyeballs like this, their organization will definitely not let this go. Organization. Imo-chan smiled. What's an organization? We are strong enough to wipe out the gangs here. If this gang comes for revenge, we will destroy them all. Then, their property will belong to us. Two birds with one stone. We can hypnotize these big men. There is no need to make such a big scene. Jiang Li was still calm. Let's go. Daphne saw many people looking at them. Although the black market was lawless, it was too arrogant to dig out the eyeballs of more than 10 people. It caused a stir. It was not a good thing to attract attention in the black market. The 6 of them left the train station, leaving the 10 big men moaning in pain behind. Half an hour later, a group of people rushed into the station. They pulled the big men into a flying car and took them away. Their gang members had noticed something was wrong and reported it to the headquarters. TSK, those 3 men and 3 women are so cruel. They are still students, right? They just dug out people's eyeballs. They are cruel, but they are also brainless. In the black market, there are people who are crueler than you. Some people were discussing secretly. Some even started to stare at Daphne's group. Jiang Xian, if there is any danger, you will help. Daphne turned around. The 6 of them were already walking in a small alley. The alley was empty and eerily quiet. Me? Jiang Xian was surprised. You want me to kill someone? It was true that she had never killed anyone. There was always a psychological barrier. Although she had meditated, it was because Wang Changrong taught her in other ways. Her mind was still in danger of regressing. If you meet a bad guy, just kill him. Jiang Li patted his sister's shoulder to give her confidence. Okay. Jiang Xian grabbed Jiang Li's hand. She felt her palm was wet, but it gradually became cold. She seemed to be more confident. She wanted to kill someone. She wanted to get into Star Sky University. Seeing Jiang Xian being so intimate with the boy, Emo Chen finally couldn't help it. He strode forward and said, Hey! You came with us to the black market. I want to see how strong you are. You are useless. Let us protect you. We don't want to be a burden. Chapter 175. In my opinion, you're the burden. Jiang Li didn't get angry at Emo Chen's provocation. His tone was still calm. We've been in the limelight ever since we left the train station. Now that our actions have fallen into the eyes of some people, it'll be difficult for us to do anything in the future. Don't you know that? If we were in the era of cold weapons, you wouldn't be afraid of arrows in the dark. But now that we're in the era of high-technology firearms, a random bullet can kill you. Bullets? Emo Chen laughed loudly. He was very disdainful. You're really a coward. You're actually afraid of bullets. We've already done thousands of experiments to avoid bullets can't hit us at all. When people aim at us, we'll be able to sense them. 1 second before the bullet leaves the chamber, we'll already be dozens of meters away. Even if it's an explosive bullet, the explosion won't affect such a large area. You're saying that you're a piece of trash. Jiang Li rubbed his temples. He was speechless at Emo Chen and didn't want to say anything else. All right, stop arguing. Daphne looked at the optical computer on her wrist. Let's go to the headquarters of the Sun Moon Corporation. The auction is about to start. I heard that there will be spirit stones in the auction this time. If we can get them, our vitality will increase a lot. Spirit stones. Jiang Xian touched the small pouch in her pocket. 1 gram of this thing costs tens of millions of star dollars. Where can we get so much money to auction it? We're not here to auction things. We're not going to pay for it ourselves. Emo Chen smiled. We're here to cheat others and train our mental fortitude. I hope that someone won't be a burden to us. He. Chatter on and on. Jiang Li's brows finally furrowed. Who are you talking about? Emo Chen finally couldn't hold it in any longer. He suddenly made a move. His 5 fingers clawed out, and he used the dragon claw capture again. His claw was like iron, and could even dig a hole in a reinforced concrete wall. Jiang Li shook his head and pressed his hand lightly. A wall of energy appeared in the air. It was like crystal steel as it slowly pushed out, rumbling as it pressed towards Emo Chen. The moment Emo Chen's dragon claw came into contact with the chi wall, cracking sounds rang out from the bones in his hand. His entire body was pushed back by the chi wall. His face was deathly pale, and he only stopped when he was stuck to the wall. He could only watch as the chi wall pressed down on him, trying to squeeze him into a flat pancake. He felt the air in his lungs being squeezed out bit by bit. His entire body was suffocating, and his eyes were bloodshot. His spirit felt incomparably terrified. He couldn't understand why the air had actually condensed into a crystal-like wall. He was completely controlled by the airflow, and the vast general situation was all on his opponent's side. Innate supreme chi. Dai Air was shocked. She looked at Jiang Li in astonishment and said, "This is the innate earth chi, it can control air currents. Only a peerless expert can create a wall of chi. You are definitely not a simple university student. Who are you?" Rumble. Jiang Li waved his hand, and the crystal chi wall dispersed. Emo Chen slid down against the wall, paralyzed on the ground. His eyes were filled with fear, and he was so scared that he couldn't speak. "He's my brother, Jiang Li." Jiang Xian raised her eyebrows and lowered her head. "Emo Chen, don't bother me anymore, or my brother will really beat you to death." "You're Jiang Li, the one who got into the Cosmic Sky University last year?" Daphne and Han Yun's eyes lit up. "So it's Senior Jiang Li, the legendary person. I should have thought of it. Get up. I didn't do anything to you. I just wanted to vent my anger. You've never been on the losing end, and you're too arrogant." Jiang Li waved his hand again, and a gust of air appeared out of nowhere and lifted Emo Chen up. "One more thing, and I'll only say it once. Don't bother Jiang Xian anymore. Do you hear me?" Emo Chen gritted his teeth, and a trace of blood trickled down the corner of his mouth. He knew that the gap between his strength and Jiang Li's was too big. One was like the sky and the other was like the ground. "Jiang Li, you're Jiang Li." At first there was a fierce look on his face, but it soon softened as if he remembered something. "So it's Jiang Xian's brother. I'm sorry for offending you. I sincerely apologize to you." His attitude suddenly became very humble and servile. It was as if he had changed into a different person. It turned out that when he found out that Jiang Li and Jiang Xian were siblings, his jealousy made him look stupid, and he immediately humbled himself, because Jiang Xian was not his rival in love, but his brother-in-law. Naturally, he couldn't offend him. "This kid sure knows how to sail with the wind. But if you keep bothering Jiang Xian, I don't mind making you lose your ability forever." Jiang Li wasn't moved by Emo Chen's humility at all. He thought for a moment and said, "There's no need for an apology. I hope you remember what I said." "Yes, yes, yes." Emo Chen quickly nodded. He was completely submissive and didn't dare to show any dissatisfaction. Jiang Xian snorted coldly. "The person who dares to fight my brother hasn't appeared yet. Senior Jiang Li, please give me your autograph." Daphne also became enthusiastic. She magically took out a pen from her pocket and said, "Sign it on my shirt." "Well, I'm not a big deal. I can't afford it." Jiang Li quickly declined. He had never thought of himself as a celebrity or a big shot. "You're not a big deal?" Daphne was very surprised. "You're a freshman who almost made it to the top 10. You ranked 11th in the ranking competition. We've all watched your battle videos. They're classic. Although you lost to Meng Xingyun in the last battle, Meng Xingyun is still the world's top freshman. He's obviously stronger than everyone else. According to your strength, you should be in the top 10. Oh? You can get your hands on my videos?" Jiang Li was a little surprised. According to the rules, Star University's battle videos were top secret and couldn't be leaked. "We're the top Chinese school on Earth. Of course we can get our hands on some small things." Daphne waved her hand. "Come sign." Jiang Li had no choice but to sign his name on Daphne's shirt. "Sister Daphne, my brother doesn't have a girlfriend. Do you want me to introduce you to him?" Jiang Xian teased. She wanted to see her brother's embarrassed look. "Your brother must have a girlfriend. I remember there were 2 other girls who got into Star University with your brother. One of them is named Luan and the other is Serene. Their grades were just SOSO. It was all thanks to your brother's help that they were able to get into Star University. Now that they've invested in the Crimson Emperor Group, it's obvious that they're investing in your brother. Your brother's name is Jiang Li. Li means fire, and so does Crimson Emperor. They must be your brother's girlfriends. Daphne smiled. She seemed to be used to this kind of situation. This girl has a lot of information. She's not a simple student. She's like a successful businesswoman. But it's not that surprising. With her vitality, even though she's just a high school student, she's still a dragon. She should have no problem getting into Star University. Jiang Li couldn't help but look at Daphne in a new light. The establishment of the Crimson Emperor Group was a big move. Daphne must have been born into a powerful family. She knew every move of the company like the back of her hand. Her intelligence analysis was very accurate. We're just friends. We're not girlfriends. Besides, how can you have 2 girlfriends? That's ridiculous. Jiang Li waved his hand. Let's not talk about this. Now that my identity has been exposed, I need to be more careful. If you're afraid of danger, leave me for now and go to the Sun and Moon Group's auction. We're afraid of danger. Han Yun smiled. Do you think we'll run into more danger if we follow you? Lower your voice. Daphne's expression turned serious. Senior Jiang Li, I know you have an irreconcilable conflict with the Sun and Moon Group. I even know some inside information. Your father's research on the essence of the Sun and Moon Group has made some progress in the Crimson Emperor Group. My family is interested in working with you, so the Sun and Moon Group will do everything they can to get rid of you. I'm afraid you're not here to visit your family, are you? Are you here to destroy the Sun and Moon Group's roots in the black market? And let the Crimson Emperor Group take over the black market? You sure know a lot. Which family are you from? Jiang Li stopped in his tracks. He was a little interested in this Daphne. My surname is Chen. Daphne smiled. My father is the highest counselor of the 36 Hua cities. Oh, you're from the Chen family. Jiang Li was a little surprised. The 36 Hua cities were equivalent to China 200 years ago, and they were even larger than China at that time. This was because there were a few cities, such as Ice Flower City, which used to be part of Russia's territory. There was also Nanhua City, which used to be a small country in South Asia. Now that they had been transformed by the continent, the 36 Hua cities were 1.5 times the size of China. The highest counselors of the 36 Hua cities were the decision-makers. They weren't appointed by the human government, but elected by the people. They had a lot of power and could make decisions on politics, economy, and even military. As long as it didn't involve the changes on Earth, these counselors could make decisions after voting. The human government wouldn't interfere. It seemed like Daphne's status was much higher than Yumuhua's. Yumuhua's father was just a government official in Beijing. He was worlds apart from the highest counselor. The Sun and Moon Group's true power is terrifying. I'm here to kick them out of the black market. Don't get involved. Jiang Li stood with his hands behind his back. He was as proud as a dragon. No one could imagine that he could wipe out an entire group by himself. I know some information about the Sun and Moon Group. They have 20 sonic mechas in the black market, Daphne said. You need to have a vitality of 7 to fight against a sonic mecha. No matter what, your vitality isn't 7 yet. You can't destroy them, right? Would I come here if I didn't have the confidence? Jiang Li smiled. The 5 flying swords in his body had merged with his flesh and turned into sword orbs in his dantian. If they burst out suddenly, he could really tear the 20 sonic mechas apart. That was why he wasn't afraid. I can work with you and wipe out the Sun and Moon Group's position in the black market. I'll also do my best to protect your Red Emperor Group. Daphne threw out a condition. In the future, when the Red Emperor Group takes over the black market, I can guarantee that the Sun and Moon Group won't be able to send mechas or even enter Earth. We can make the Red Emperor Group the most powerful group on Earth. Oh! Jiang Li was shocked. You're talking big. Even the first counselor of Beijing, Zhu Yuanshang, wouldn't dare to say something like that. Chapter 176. Based on his intuition, Jiang Li knew that Daphne wasn't a simple girl. Her vitality should be at 2, so it was almost certain that she would be able to get into Star Sky University. She must have some hidden tricks up her sleeve. Compared to Yumuhua, she was much more powerful. However, it seemed like she was exaggerating when she said that she could stop the Sun and Moon Corporation from entering Earth. Jiang Li still didn't believe her. What tricks did she have up her sleeves? How dare she say something like that? I naturally have my reasons for saying such a thing. Daphne smiled. Uncle Zhu must agree with me. He is the #1 counselor in the 36 Hua cities. It's true that he can't stop the Sun and Moon Corporation from building their bases and businesses on Earth. However, what if all the counselors in the 36 Hua cities work together? Would the Sun and Moon Corporation be able to transport mechas, guns, and drugs to the black market so easily? That's true. Jiang Li's eyes lit up. He immediately understood what she meant. The mechas, the essences of the Sun and Moon Corporation, as well as some weapons and guns, were considered a serious crime according to human law. Jiang Li couldn't even bring the drugs out of the black market. He had to use the security organization's channels to do so, let alone bring the mechas and guns into the black market. How did the Sun and Moon Corporation transport the mechas into the black market? This was a secret channel and a mystery. However, from what Daphne said, the counselors in the capital must know about it. They might even have received some benefits from it. The 36 Hua cities were the territory of these people, so it was impossible for the Sun-Moon Group to enter without their permission. Daphne had a very high status in the eyes of these counselors. Jiang Li could also see that she was being nurtured. She was only one step away from getting into Star Sky University. Once she got in, her status would increase by 1,000 times. However, Jiang Li still had some doubts. Even if you can represent the forces behind you, I can guess that the Sun and Moon Corporation gave you a lot of benefits by invading the black market. Logically speaking, you guys should be working together. This time, I came to wipe out the black market and infringed on your interests. You should be ostracizing me. Jiang Li naturally analyzed the situation rationally. No matter who controls the black market, we will be able to get a share of it. Also, the Sun and Moon Group only gave us a small share. They are too powerful. If it were you, you would have given us more. Daphne's words hit the nail on the head. So, we need to change our spokesperson. Change spokesperson? Jiang Li probed further, wanting to get to the bottom of it. The Sun and Moon Group is tyrannical and overbearing. Gradually, they no longer listen to our commands. Moreover, this group is a lunatic and it is very easy for them to get out of control. Because of their internal plan, they want to expand the black market not only to Hua Su City, but also to Hua Star City, Hua Sun City, and all the other 36 Hua cities. They want to turn these 36 Hua cities into a huge black market. Damn it, the Sun-Moon Corporation deserves to die. When Jiang Li heard this, an indescribable fire rose in his heart. The black market was formed because of a special historical reason. In a place without laws and order like this, one piece was enough. If it expanded, it would bring disaster to the surrounding cities. Thinking about it, the Hua Star City, where Jiang Li used to live, was right next to the black market. If the black market expanded, many people would be harmed. Just based on this point, the Sun and Moon Group should be punished. You know how serious the consequences will be if the black market gets out of control and expands. Daphne shook her head. We, the 36 Hua City Councilors, have negotiated with the Sun and Moon Group many times, but they are stubborn. They can't blame us for this. The Jiang family of the Sun and Moon group thinks that they can conquer the world just because they have a soul master, Jiang Nalan. What a joke. We have to fight back. Aren't you afraid of the Jiang family's revenge? Jiang Li said, I have a deep grudge against the Sun and Moon group. There is no need for you to get involved in this mess. Because we want to cooperate with the Wang family. Daphne smiled. She had the charm of a mature woman. Mr. Kurong is the #1 soul master in the 36 Hua cities and an advanced hypnotist. There is no doubt that he is from the Wang family. I also heard that you invited a master from Star University. He is a famous genius, Rulai Wang. His vitality is already in the double digit. He is a secret weapon. With this person, even a sonic mecha is nothing. No wonder you are so fearless. Seeing that the Wang family and the Jiang family are fighting for the power of the black market, we naturally choose the Wang family. You are very well informed. Jiang Li smiled. It was an absolute secret that Rulai Wang was here, but they already knew about it. It showed that there was no secret in the 36 Hua cities that could be hidden from these people. Daphne was a scheming woman. I don't know much about Rulai Wang, but we can't just go up and invite him to a banquet. Daphne smiled. So, we hope that you can introduce us to Senior Rulai Wang. What do you think? So, you want to build a relationship with the Wang family. Jiang Li knew that the Wang family was powerful and everyone wanted to be related to them. It's not a big deal. We can discuss how to deal with the Jiang family. To be honest, destroying the Jiang family's power in the black market is a piece of cake. The difficult part is to guard against the Jiang family's counterattack. You don't have to worry about that, Daphne said. After your Red Emperor group is established in the black market, we will sign an agreement to stop the Jiang family from entering. After all, the 36 Hua cities are part of the human government. The Jiang family is just a group. You want to fight against the human government? That's not enough. Jiang Xian didn't think much of the conversation between Jiang Li and Daphne, but Emo Chen, Han Yun, and Zhao Xiu were all stunned. They didn't expect that the two of them could decide such an earth-shattering thing in a small alley with just a few words. All right, the Red Emperor group is willing to cooperate with you. Jiang Li reached out his hand. Daphne also reached out and shook hands with Jiang Li. The two of them looked at each other and smiled. I'll be waiting for you at the Star Sky University. Jiang Li smiled and said, The Star Sky University is a bit complicated, but I've been here for half a year. I can tell you a lot about it. My tutor is a vice principal. I knew it long ago. Your tutor is Hong Heiyu. Not long ago, he broke through the second level of the embryonic breathing realm, the divine breath realm. He stood out among the other tutors and was immediately promoted to the vice principal. Congratulations, your status among the students of the Star Sky University has also risen. Daphne smiled lightly and raised her eyebrows slightly, as if she had all the information. The Chun family also has students in the Star Sky University. Jiang Li suddenly realized. As a member of parliament in the capital, there must be more than one student from the Star Sky University in the family. Since there were students from the Star Sky University in the family, he could naturally know all the information. Let's go to the auction house of the Sun and Moon Group. I heard that there are some good things being auctioned this time. Are you going to make a move today? Daphne looked excited and continued, If you make a move now, I can get a lot of benefits. I'm here to observe the situation and try to kill all the senior members of the Sun and Moon Group in one fell swoop. There was no hesitation on Jiang Li's face. It was obvious that he had trained himself to not show any mercy to his enemies. Rumble, at this moment, there was a deafening rumbling sound in the sky. The people below felt their blood boiling. If it was a person with low vitality, he would have fainted or even vomited blood. Streaks of black shadows flew across the sky like demons soaring in the sky. It's the Sun and Moon Group's sonic mecha. They are patrolling the sky above the Suhua city. They are treating the black market as their territory. Anger flashed in Daphne's eyes. The sound waves caused by the sonic mecha have completely exceeded the decibel limit set by the law. It can cause great harm to the human body. Although they can be unscrupulous in the black market, it is a little too much to treat human life like grass. In the black market, people could kill those who were a threat to them. This was self-defense. However, to cause harm to countless people for no reason showed how cruel the Sun and Moon group was. Don't worry, they won't be able to do this for long. Jiangli didn't make a move. He just observed calmly. In his eyes, although these sonic speed mecha were fast, he could completely use his thoughts to track their movement. Jiangli could even use his thoughts to infiltrate the mecha and see the people inside. He could even hypnotize the people inside the mecha. However, he knew that even if he hypnotized the people inside the mecha, he wouldn't be able to completely control the mecha. This was because the mecha had a computer chip. The people inside the Sun and Moon group's main control room could control the mecha. Even if all the soldiers inside died, the mecha wouldn't be lost. The only way to destroy the mecha was to destroy it completely and cause it to lose its kinetic energy. If my vitality was 5, I wouldn't be able to contend against these sonic mechas. But now I have 5 flying swords condensed into a sword orb in my Dantian's sea of energy. I can casually erupt and slash people within 50 kilometers. These sonic mechas are nothing to me. Jiangli only observed quietly. Although he was fearless, he didn't act blindly without thinking. With 5 flying swords and the Emperor's relic, even if the enemy used a nuclear bomb, it would be useless. That was because he could open a space and hide in it the moment he sensed danger. Even if the nuclear bomb destroyed the entire city, it wouldn't cause any damage to the space inside the Emperor's relic. Let's go. Daphne called out to them. They were about to leave the alley. Kacha, Kacha, just when they were about to leave, the ground shook. A group of people appeared at the entrance of the alley. There was also a mecha. It wasn't a sonic mecha. It was an ordinary low-level mecha. However, a low-level mecha was still invincible. Ordinary people, even if their vitality was 2, would not be able to fight against a metal mecha. Where are you students from? Do you think you can leave after killing people from the Overlord gang? The mecha's helmet opened. A bald man appeared. There was a tattoo of a ferocious green snake on his face. It was the gang members whose eyes were gouged out at the train station. The gang had a low-level mecha. Chapter 177. They're from the Overlord gang? Daphne's expression turned cold. She saw many gang members in the alley on the other end. They were holding guns. The guns were not lethal bullets, but paralysis bullets. They were the paralysis bullets used by the police. Although the damage was not great, the reason why these gang members used the paralysis gun was very simple. They wanted to capture him alive. No matter who they were, they would not end well in the hands of these gang members. They would definitely be tortured to death. It would be better for them to die quickly. Needless to say, girls would definitely be raped and men would not have a good life. For example, they would sell their organs for a high price or make them a eunuch to serve others. Or they would cut off your flesh piece by piece and then use the growth fluid to regrow the flesh. Just like that, you would be tortured by thousands of cuts every day. There were too many ways to torture people in the black market. There were also too many inhumane gang members. I know you're experts. Don't move. The gang leader of the Overlord gang was wearing a mecha. He grinned and put on his helmet again. Girls, come here first. Otherwise, you'll die a horrible death with so many of us shooting at you. Do it. Suddenly, a gun appeared in Daphne's hand like a magic trick. Whoosh, whoosh. At this moment, many people appeared on the roof of the alley. They were all members of the Overlord gang. They were not holding paralysis guns, but small nuclear guns. Beauty, don't move. If you move, our bullets will pour down and you'll die. The Overlord gang leader chuckled in the mecha. Bang. A bullet shot down from above and exploded on the road in the alley. A huge crater appeared on the road. It was as if a bomb had exploded. The shockwave could tear a human body apart. Gravel flew everywhere and hit Daphne and the rest. However, they were shattered by their bodies. If they were ordinary people, they would definitely be badly injured by the gravel. However, these people were experts with strong bodies. Their heads would not be broken by the gravel at all. However, they were covered in dust and looked a little embarrassed. Jiang Li was the only one who circulated his innate gang qi the moment the explosion happened. He was untainted by the dust. He looked at everything coldly and did not attack. "Brother, what should we do? There were so many people. As long as a single bullet hits us, we'll be smashed to pieces." Jiang Xian quietly approached Jiang Li. "Go and kill the leader of the Overlord gang." Jiang Li was expressionless. Taking the head of the general in the midst of an army of 10,000 is how a hero should be. "What?" Jiang Xian almost couldn't believe her ears, as if she didn't hear what her brother said clearly. "I'm going to kill the leader? He's wearing a mecha, and there are so many people and guns pointed at me. Go, this is a test, a kind of training." Unknowingly, Jiang Li was also cultivating his sister. Although it was dangerous, it was necessary. If his sister didn't experience danger and slaughter, she wouldn't be able to become a true expert. He used the method that Hong Heiyu used to train himself on his sister. Of course, it wasn't too out of line, but he had to admit that this was the best training. "You want me to kill that leader? How am I supposed to kill it?" Jiang Xian was still a little afraid. "Go. Do whatever you can." Jiang Li said calmly, "You can use hypnosis or you can snatch the guns. In short, kill the leader and break the current situation." "All right." Seeing her brother's determined gaze, Jiang Xian's eyes gradually became determined. All of a sudden, she put a spirit stone in her mouth, and a stream of air immediately surrounded her body. Her whole body flew out gracefully, and in the blink of an eye, she was 20 meters away. She was like a nimble cat, an explosive leopard, a spring swallow, or a spirit snake. She unknowingly displayed the supreme secret of the 8 trigrams swimming dragon palm. This was the Wang family's unique skill. It seemed that Wang Chongrong had imparted it to her. In the process of dashing out, Jiang Xian let out a long howl. Her voice spread, and suddenly, pa, pa, pa. Suddenly, 3 or 4 gang members with guns fell from the roof. They were all holding physical bullet. They fell because Jiang Xian had used hypnosis. In an instant, she hypnotized 4 of them, causing them to fall from the building, and obtained the guns. She spun and grabbed the 4 guns in her hand. Jiang Xian swept her body and immediately fired at the end of the alley and the buildings on both sides. Rumble, 4 loud sounds were heard, and blood and flesh flew everywhere. There was a huge explosion at the entrance of the alley. Some gang members were blasted into pieces by the explosive force, but some gang members opened fire. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Countless paralyzing light spots and physical bullets started pouring towards the gang members. "Get out of the way." Daphne had already expected this. She dashed out 30 meters, and in the process, she turned at will, dodging all kinds of bullet. The other 3 students also showed their extraordinary abilities. They scattered in all directions like birds and beasts. Jiang Li seemed to have teleported, and he had already reached the top of the 10-story building. This was already beyond human jumping ability. Even Daphne's current jumping ability was only 4 to 5 meters. However, Jiang Li was different. On Emperor's Star, he could jump more than 30 meters. On Earth, he could even control the airflow and jump up to 100 meters. He could turn and glide in the air at will, just like a bird. Moreover, he did not use the flying sword ability. If he used the flying sword, his flying speed and ability could be comparable to the old fighter jets. If his body was stronger, he could fly at supersonic speed, and his skin could completely withstand the tearing force of the storm. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. He did not even look. An extremely thin golden light flew out from the tip of his finger. This was a flying sword, but now it was like a fishing line. This was because Wang Chao had shown his divinity and strengthened him, causing his bloodline to start fusing with the 5 flying swords. After going through the wormhole, the 5 flying swords turned into sword pellets and fused with the power of space in his cells. Gradually, there were some changes. Although he still had not reached the stage of sword and body becoming one, he could already refine the sword into a thread. That thread was a thread of energy. It was extremely sharp and could easily cut through a mecha or even a battleship. Wherever the thread-like golden sword chi went, the major acupoints of those gang members were pierced by the sword chi and they fainted. Jiang Li did not plan to hypnotize these people. Instead, he used the sword chi to destroy their vitality and nerves, turning them into ordinary people and unable to do evil anymore. He did not want to kill people easily now. On the other hand, he was also testing out his sword technique. The sword chi danced like gossamer threads. When the metal energy thread pierced into these people's flesh, Jiang Li suddenly felt that his flying sword seemed to be absorbing a kind of life potential. Those people's life potential was instantly drained. One of the burly men's hair actually started to turn white. As his life potential was drained, age spots also gradually appeared on his skin. The flying sword is absorbing life potential? Jiang Li was shocked. He immediately retracted his sword chi and observed the situation in his dantian. The 5 flying swords and sword pellets were actually starting to fuse together and condense into a big sword pellet. Moreover, this sword pellet was not golden in color. There were some traces of blood in it. It was the life potential that had just been absorbed. Boom! That big sword pellet slowly circulated as if it was transferring life potential into his body. Jiang Li felt a warm current seeping into all the cells in his body. Kacha kacha, kacha kacha. His cells changed and his vitality rose again, reaching 5.1. This was the sign that the life potential in his body had reached its limit and was finally starting to transform into vitality. What? Absorbing the life potential of a human body? Jiang Li was astonished. This flying sword is not an ordinary flying sword but an evil flying sword? Who exactly is the person who forged this flying sword? Ordinary flying swords would only gain some spirituality and baleful aura after killing people. In theory, the more lives a flying sword killed, the more spirituality it would have. However, that would only increase the strength of the flying sword itself. Flying swords that could absorb other people's life potential and feed it back to their master were considered extremely powerful evil swords in the cultivation world. Human technology had once done research on transferring other people's life potential to another person's body, thus increasing the other person's lifespan, strength, and physiological functions. However, this kind of research was urgently stopped because it violated scientific ethics. Similarly, it was the same in the cultivation world. When this kind of flying sword was discovered by cultivators, they would attack it together and then destroy it. That's amazing. It seems like this flying sword can't kill people easily in the future. Jiang Li shivered coldly. It was too terrifying to absorb other people's life potential. Although it could increase one's strength quickly, in the long run, one would definitely go down the evil path. Their minds would be distorted, and they would lose their Taoist heart if they indulged in the pleasure of increasing their strength through killing. Bang bang bang! Jiang Xian had already started shooting at the man in the mecha. Daphne was also shooting. While shooting, they were hit by many paralysis shots, but they were still fine. Obviously, their bodies were too strong. Back then, Illusory Fox had struggled for a long time after being hit by the paralysis shots, let alone them. Daphne's marksmanship was amazing. Every shot hit the man in the mecha. Bang, 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 the mecha exploded continuously and the huge impact finally tore it apart. The leader of the Overlord gang jumped out with a ferocious look on his face. He abandoned the mecha and started to attack Daphne. However, he was blocked by Jiang Xian on the way. Swish! Jiang Xian's knife hand appeared, and a series of air explosions appeared, aiming at the gang leader's neck. Her attack was fierce, vicious, and as fast as lightning. It was a fatal blow. Kill! The gang leader's eyes were bloodshot. He threw a punch and he seemed to be in a trance. His footwork made him look like a ghost walking out of hell. Ghost God fist, Ghost God appears. Their fists collided and they both retreated. Then Jiang Xian pounced on him again. At this time, Daphne wanted to help, but a voice sounded in the depth of her mind, "Let Jiang Xian kill this guy. You guys go and kill the others." Okay. Daphne knew that Jiang Li wanted to train Jiang Xian, so she didn't attack again. Instead, she picked up her gun and shot one by one. She shot more than 10 times in a second, and each shot took a life. Boom! In the darkness, bullets were shooting at them. Daphne didn't even look at them. She shot casually, and the bullet actually intercepted the opponent's bullet. The bullet collided in the air, and a mushroom cloud appeared. Then, she casually shot the person who shot the sniper and killed him. Intercepting bullets with bullets? Jiang Li raised his eyebrows. He could feel the girl's strong spiritual power. Chapter 178. Using bullets to intercept bullets required keen insight and mental trajectory. Their bodies had to be unbelievably agile, and their mental fortitude was strong. They would not have the slightest hesitation or negative emotions, disregarding life and death. This kind of person was extremely tyrannical and would definitely meditate. At this moment, Jiang Xian and the Overlord gang leader were engaged in a fierce battle. They twisted and killed each other, fighting fiercely. The Overlord sect leader's Ghost God Fist was simply superb. Each of his moves was ruthless, and each of his punches carried the aura of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. Jiang Xian, on the other hand, displayed the 8 trigrams divine palm. As she moved around, the palm wind tore through the air, and each of her moves was as sharp as a blade. Jiang Li could tell that his sister's life force was above this gang leader's, but she didn't have enough fighting experience. She wasn't as fierce as the other party, so she was a little timid when fighting and didn't let go of her heart. Rumble! Suddenly, the leader of the Overlord gang appeared behind Jiang Xian and attacked her. The angle of the punch was tricky and ruthless, showing his rich experience in life and death battles. Jiang Xian was caught off guard and was about to be hit by the punch. Dai Er's heart was in her throat, but when she saw Jiang Li's calm expression, she was relieved. Sure enough, Jiang Xian's body twisted like a boneless dragon snake. This was the dance of the dragon and snake, of the boneless flexibility technique. She barely dodged the punch, and suddenly let out a long roar. Her voice was like a silk thread being thrown into the sky. Her whole body was like a roaming dragon of the 8 trigrams. Once again, her life potential erupted. The spiritual energy of the spirit stone in her mouth seeped into her bloodline and body, causing her movements to accelerate again. Swish, swish, swish. 3 consecutive moves. Her knife hand was like the wind, sweeping across quickly. It actually had a hint of the great Emperor's wind seal controlling the airflow. With her current knife hand, although she couldn't reach the level of innate earth energy, if she really cut down, the flesh and blood of the enemy would be no less than being cut by a sharp sword. Although Wang Changrong had not completely mastered the great Emperor's wind seal, he had grasped some of the essence of the vertical airflow. He integrated it into the martial arts of the 8 trigrams divine palm and taught it to Jiang Xian. Poochie! Suddenly, one of the Overlord gang leader's arteries was cut open, and blood spurted out. He quickly retreated and applied pressure to stop the bleeding. However, Jiang Xian followed him like a shadow. She attacked continuously without the slightest gap. Her saber was like a wheel, and the lines formed a circle. One circle after another, it actually formed a blade that resembled a taiji in the air. This kind of martial art had already begun to grasp a little of the meaning of Tao within it. Whoosh! The blood-red light surged. The head fell to the ground. Jiang Xian's knife hand wrapped around her opponent's neck. With just a twist, a head flew into the air. Blood sprayed several meters high and splattered all over her body. The smell of blood stunned Jiang Xian. She froze in place and saw a huge head spinning on the ground. The headless body was still moving forward. It reached out its hands as if trying to strangle her, but after taking 2 steps, it collapsed to the ground with a loud thud. The head on the ground said a few words. "I won't let you go." The voice was hoarse and miserable. It was as if a scene from hell had appeared, causing one's hair to stand on end. Even the cruel and merciless Emo Chen's expression changed. Daphne's face turned pale, as if she had never seen anything like this before. Only Jiang Li's expression was natural. So what? Other people's heads were not worth mentioning at all. Even his own head had been chopped off before. That feeling was the true terror of life and death. At this moment, his body exuded a peaceful aura, causing everyone present to calm down. What a pity! I should have used hypnosis to transfer the money to this person's bank account. Jiang Li made a joke to lighten the atmosphere. Daphne burst into laughter, feeling much more relaxed. Jiang Li walked forward and looked at Jiang Xian, who was sprayed with blood. He frowned and said, "Let's find a place to take a shower and change clothes. Then, we'll go to the Sun Moon Group's auction house and see what good things are being auctioned." "Brother, I killed someone." Jiang Xian's voice was trembling. She was still hesitating like a dumb goose. The smell of blood on her body was thick, and she felt at a loss. Even her soul had started to regress, and she felt disgusted with power. Some people had an epiphany when they killed for the first time and entered meditation. Some people's soul retreated when they killed for the first time and they were anxious. Jiang Li was the first type, and Jiang Xian was the second. This was not strange at all. They were all sentient beings' reactions. Jiang Li suddenly roared and sent a voice transmission to her. "What's the big deal about killing a few people?" His voice went straight into Jiang Xian's soul like thunder, dispelling the haze. Jiang Xian came back to her senses as if she had been hit in the head. Her eyes became firm. She took off her coat and walked into a house next to the alley. It was the residence of a gang, and there were people guarding it. She didn't even look at it and walked straight in. A few gang members tried to stop her, but they were all knocked down by her in an instant. She found a place with hot water and happily took a bath. After cleaning herself up, she changed her clothes and walked out as if nothing had happened. She had grown a lot after killing for the first time. At least she had completely let go of her mind and started to be unscrupulous. Once she had an epiphany, her martial arts moves and momentum had a new breakthrough. Since ancient times, human martial arts had been used for self-defense and killing enemies. If she didn't kill enemies, how could she increase her martial arts experience? A martial arts grandmaster once said that killing 1 enemy would make 1 bodhisattva, and killing 10 enemies would make 2 bodhisattvas. Let's go. Everyone changed clothes. Daphne looked at the bloody battlefield and said, "Although it's not illegal to kill people in the black market, at least 20 people died in this fight. It will cause a big commotion." "It doesn't matter. There are many gunfights every day in such a big black market. 20 people dying is nothing." Jiang Li waved his hand and led the others away. Half an hour later, they appeared in front of a tall building and a huge square. There were many buildings on the square, and from a bird's-eye view, the buildings looked like they were made up of a sun and a moon, forming a massive structure. Feng Shui could continuously absorb fortune and fate, block the baleful aura, and even increase one's fate. As mentioned before, luck existed in a mysterious dimension. When many sentient beings gathered together, they would form an illusory thing like luck, just like the spiritual qi of heaven and earth. Through architecture and gathering feng shui, an unusual pattern could be formed. When luck was gathered, the people living there would be happy and everything would go smoothly for them. This would give them a great advantage in cultivation. If another architecture was used to set up a feng shui killing array, it would be able to extract evil spirits from the second dimension. This is a profound subject, not the superficial study of feng shui, but the profound study of dimensional architecture. Even in Starry Sky University, there are no courses on this subject. In the cultivation world, it was called an array. In ancient China, there was also such architecture, but it was very weak. It could only form ordinary feng shui patterns and couldn't evolve into a giant array that could interfere with the energy in the second dimension. But now, the buildings of the Sun Yu group had a trace of an array. Jiang Li looked at the gigantic buildings. They stood in great numbers and revolved around each other. It was as if they had fused together with some sort of dimensional force. They were unshakable. Just by looking at them, he felt a sense of suppression in his heart. His mental energy was actually suppressed, and it was unable to radiate far. On the Emperor's star, his mind power could radiate 80 miles, which was 40 kilometers. But here, he couldn't see the specific situation. It was as if his mind had encountered a fog. He couldn't see clearly how many people were there or what the pattern was. What an amazing architecture! Feng Shui killing array. Daphne also took a deep breath and said, "As far as I know, there is nothing in the current society that can block people's thoughts from prying eyes. Only the Feng Shui formation and the evil Qi pattern can affect people's thoughts and create a barrier. The person who built Sun Moon City must be an expert." "Is this city in the city called Sun Yu City?" Jiang Li observed the layout. He didn't use his mind anymore, but his eyes. His eyes were in the material world. Although the Feng Shui killing array was powerful, it wasn't strong enough to affect the material world, unless it was a natural killing array in the cultivation world. But those killing arrays required extremely strong people in the embryonic breathing realm or even the meditative meditation realm to set them up. The person who set up the Sun Yu City was a Feng Shui master. There shouldn't be such a strong person. This kind of strong person was in the elite zone. He wouldn't come to Earth to do something like this. Luckily, Sun Yu City hasn't been built for too long. If it had been built for too long, the Feng Shui killing array would have seeped into the ground and become really stable. The more Dia looked, the more serious she became. When Sun Yu City was first built, we didn't see any clues. But now that it's completed, it finally shows its scary side. Sun Yu City absorbs the people's fate, wealth, and people in the prosperous Su Hua City, while Sun Yu City absorbs the brutality, killing, and resentment of the Su Hua City's black market. Good and evil, just like yin and yang, heaven and hell, black and white, Tai Chi becomes mixed elements, forming an unparalleled Feng Shui killing array. Only Su Hua City can build such a Feng Shui killing array. In other cities, the laws are orderly and all kinds of fate are unshakable. Feng Shui is just a small way to make people feel better. Here, it's completely different. After a long time, it will gradually spread and affect people's hearts. In the end, it will cause chaos in all 36 cities. It's indeed strange. Although Jiang Li didn't have a deep understanding of Feng Shui formations and architecture, he had dreamt back in the cultivation world and knew how terrifying formations were. Some formations could even turn a country's people crazy overnight. From the king to the common people, everyone would turn into crazy demons. The person who set up the formation could use the power of the formation to increase their mental power tenfold or even 100-fold. Of course, one's realm couldn't be increased by formations, but the size of one's mental power could be increased by the formation. In the cultivation world, there were even formations that could interfere with matter. They were called spirit-gathering formations. They extracted the spiritual energy of heaven and earth from the second dimension and turned it into liquid. The formation in the valley on the Emperor's star could absorb the energy of countless stars and gather it in the physical world. It was a terrifying thing. This is terrifying. Jiang Li's expression was serious. If the person who set up this formation was at the realm of Chongding, He could stand in the center of the formation and control the feng shui layout. His mental power would be far stronger than people at the same realm. Even I would be hypnotized. Mr. Chang Rong and Wang Rulai might not be a match for him. Chapter 179. The layout of Sun Moon City was well versed in feng shui. It gathered some fortune and malevolence in the dark. It could affect one's mind, making it impossible for Jiang Li to detect it. In other words, as long as one entered Sun Moon City, even hypnosis would not work. One's mind would be suppressed. Let's go in. Although Dai was also a bit afraid, she was bold and didn't care. She saw that there were many people going in and out of Sun Moon City. They were all here to participate in the auction or to buy things. Ever since the Sun Moon Group took control of the black market again, they had started to build it on a large scale. All kinds of medicines, resources, and forbidden drugs were being bought and sold. Mechas could even be auctioned here. Initially, some low-level mechas were very rare in the black market. But now that even the leader of the tyrant gang had a mecha, it must have come from the Sun Moon Group. The Sun Moon Group's current strategy was not to completely take over the black market. Instead, it was to control all kinds of channels to let more gangs and ambitious people bring in money. Therefore, ever since the Sun Moon Group set up camp here, the number of gangs increased by 100 overnight. The entire black market grew more and more complicated. Even some bosses from other planets interfered. They established their own forces and sold all kinds of forbidden drugs and resources here. Rumble. Suddenly, many noises rang out in the center of Sun Moon City. Countless huge flying engineering vehicles were transporting things. It seemed like huge metal blocks were piled up and formed a holy statue in the center of Sun Moon City. The holy statue was very big, at least 100 meters tall. The holy statue was all piled up with metal blocks. With the current engineering power, it was actually very simple to create such a huge holy statue. As long as the various tools were in place, it could be completed in a few hours. It stood between heaven and earth. Countless people watched from afar, watching the construction team nervously carrying out the construction, and there was a lot of discussion. Jiang Li listened to the voices of these people. The Sun Moon Group is creating a holy statue today. I heard that they're going to consecrate it? I heard that the Sun Moon Group created the holy statue of Jiang Nalan, the spiritual master of mankind. They consecrated it to sweep away the resentment. I heard that the holy statue will show its spirit when it's consecrated. The holy statue shows its spirit? I've never encountered such a thing before. Is it true? It's indeed magical. It goes against scientific principles. What scientific principles? Human spiritual masters are also a type of science. Spiritual cultivation can transcend the material world and appear in any space-time. This is the theory of the three realms, and it has a scientific basis. Do you think it's a scientific theory from hundreds of years ago? That's right. If there's a Grandmaster of Spirit in a clan, they can erect a holy statue and sincerely pray. Through the bloodline connection, the Grandmaster of Spirit will be able to sense it and use the bloodline of the holy statue as a basis to bestow blessings. Jiang Nalan has already shown his divinity. He is one of humanity's greatest experts. It seems like as long as the Jiang family has him, they will never fall and will never decline. That's true. This person will protect the Jiang family forever. Let's take a look. I heard that after the opening ceremony, the holy statue will show itself. After that, there will be a grand auction. There will even be a sonic speed mecha and some legendary treasures. It is said that there will be flying swords from the cultivation civilization. What? Flying swords from the cultivation civilization? Are there really such things? Of course. The cultivation civilization is completely different from our technological civilization. The cultivation civilization relies on human spiritual and physical strength. They try their best to develop the spiritual and physical potential of humans. The flying swords they cultivate are connected to each other and can slash people from dozens of miles away. Of course, this is something that only experts in meditation can play with. We just want to see if we can get a low-level mecha. Countless discussions were transmitted to Jiang Li's ears. These were all intelligence reports. In an instant, he made all sorts of analyses in his mind. The holy statue of Jiang Nalan. Daphne's eyes were solemn, but more than that, she didn't believe it. She didn't believe that anyone could be so powerful that they could use the holy statue to bestow supernatural powers. At first, Jiang Li didn't believe it either. But ever since he was blessed by Wang Chao's holy statue that day, he knew that human spiritual masters really had the power of gods. We won't go in for now. He stopped at the door. What? This isn't like you. Are you afraid of the holy statue? Daphne raised her eyebrows and laughed. I don't believe that the holy statue has any power. There are so many Buddha statues in this world. Why haven't I seen any gods? Let's wait and see how the light consecration is progressing. Jiang Li stood outside Sun Moon City and watched as the tall holy statue was quickly constructed. The Sun Moon Group had already prepared the metal blocks. Now, all they had to do was pile them up with flying engineering vehicles and connect them together with super welding method. There was a large amount of gold in the metal, which made it seem rich and could also attract blessings. The Buddha wanted a golden body. It was actually very simple. Gold represented immortality and wealth. Since ancient times, gold had been the symbol of immortality and wealth. It was deeply rooted in people's hearts. The power of people's hearts was fortune. Since ancient times, people's hearts had been condensed in gold. Therefore, statues made of gold were more dignified and spiritual than ordinary materials. They were more suitable for manifesting spirits and controlling feng shui. Seeing that Jiang Li didn't move, no one dared to move either. They stayed where they were and watched the holy statue being built in the depths of Sun Moon City. Finally, an hour later, the holy statue was finished. The head was welded together seamlessly. It was golden and looked like a young man with his hands behind his back. He looked up at the sky as if he wanted to see through the mysteries of the universe. The changes in the posture and the operation of the heavenly Tao were all vividly displayed under this holy statue. It seemed that the builder of this holy statue was also a master sculptor. From the mentality, the aura, the timing, and the geographical location, it gave people a very mysterious feeling. If the holy statue was well made, it could inspire awe in people. Naturally, it would be blessed and majestic. After the holy statue was completed, a majestic aura immediately spread out, causing a formless tremor in all directions. Jiang Li's mind was greatly shaken, and he almost couldn't control himself. Even his spirit felt like it was about to be pushed back. As for Dyer and the others, they were a little better because they hadn't reached Jiang Li's level yet. They couldn't feel the wonders of the holy statue. This holy statue could suppress one's soul, making it impossible for experts to use hypnosis and lose the ability to pry into one's thoughts. In addition, it could also strengthen the prayers of the Jiang family. Jiang Li was also of the Jiang family, but he could vaguely feel hostility and rejection. It's been consecrated. The holy statue has been consecrated. Suddenly, countless chanting voices rang out in Sun Moon City. At the same time, a large screen appeared in the sky, broadcasting the process of the holy statue. Jiang Li saw many yellow-clothed Jiang family juniors. There were at least a few thousand of them, and they were constantly chanting poems. When people heard this holy and pure song, they would feel deep veneration. This song was Eternal Life. Eternal Life was a song written by Jiang Nalan. It had been spread throughout the entire human race and was the greatest classic. It was almost immortal. At the same time, it was also a scripture that had been passed down in human literature. It had the effect of suppressing evil and blessing humans. It was almost on par with the Tao Te Ching, the Diamond Sutra, the Bible, and the Quran. Especially when the Jiang family members were chanting eternal life, they used a Western aria, which made it seem even more sacred and majestic. It had a sense of supremacy and immeasurable maha. The atmosphere was warm and holy. An invisible force was strengthening it. When the song Eternal Life reached its climax, the entire holy statue suddenly shook. Jiang Li felt the ground under his feet start to shake. This wasn't a spiritual vibration, but a vibration in the physical world. Everyone could feel it. Some houses were even shaking. It really happened? Dyer was shocked and her face turned pale. Could it be that the Sun-Moon group used the power of technology to do something? How powerful would a true manifestation of its spirit be? Boom! As soon as she finished speaking, layers of golden light shot out from the holy statue in all directions. Dark clouds flew over from deep in the sky. Thunder and lightning revolved around the holy statue. The thunder and lightning exploded with huge electric current. The electric currents condensed into human-shaped lightning bolts that worshipped the holy statue. This was a miracle. Science couldn't create this anymore. In the sky, thunder and lightning suddenly condensed, and then the lightning condensed into human figures, worshipping the holy statue. This was definitely not something that technology could interfere with. Although technology could use the energy of lightning at will, it was definitely not so fast, nor was it so strange. This scene lasted for half an hour. The thunder and lightning in the sky finally disappeared. Then the wind and sun returned. The holy statue was still standing as if it was just a dream. However, all the Jiang family members praying in the square were in high spirit. A circle of light appeared behind their heads and gradually seeped into their bodies. Then everyone's life signs seemed to be improved. The holy statue was successfully consecrated. As expected, Jiang Nalin's blessing was activated. It's indeed a miracle. Jiang Li didn't enter Sun Moon City anymore. He turned around and left. Let's go back. We shouldn't stay in the black market anymore. Why? Daphne was confused. Is it because of Jiang Nalin's holy statue? The holy statue's holy statue is no small matter. The holy statue's divine manifestation is no small matter. This means that Jiang Nalin's gaze has already noticed this place. Although he is still in the distant mysterious battlefield, his thoughts can transcend time and space and descend here. No one knows how powerful he is. We know nothing about human spiritual masters, so we must be careful when dealing with the unknown. Jiang Li didn't even look back as he quickly left. Jiang Xian, Daphne, and the others had no choice but to follow him. A few hours later, they returned to the capital from the black market in Suhua City. This mission was a failure. However, Jiang Li didn't feel defeated at all. Originally, he wanted to wreak havoc in the black market and turn the Sun-Moon Group upside down with his own power. But now it seemed that the Sun-Moon Group wasn't ordinary. First, they had a feng shui layout, then they built the holy statue and consecrated it. They had the absolute upper hand in the general situation. Beep, 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 Jiang Li sent an email to his mentor, Hong Heiyu. It was sent to his mentor, Hong Black Prison. Mentor, my flying sword has now condensed into a huge sword pellet, and it can actually absorb other people's life potential. Why is that? Is there something special about this flying sword? Not long after, Hong Black Prison replied to the email. Yes, this flying sword's full name is Seven Slaughter Een Demon Sword. It contains the spirit of the sword user and can automatically absorb the enemy's life potential. After being purified by the sword chi, a part of it is fed back to the user. So the more people you kill, the more powerful this sword will be and the higher your cultivation will be. Chapter 180. 7 Kill Een Demon Sword, This is Evil. Jiang Li's body trembled, and he even had a feeling of abandoning the sword pellet deep in his dantian. This flying sword was too terrifying. It absorbed the life potential of others, and the more people it killed, the stronger it became. Such a thing would meet its doom sooner or later. In the cultivation world, Even if the owner of such a flying sword could escape the pursuit of the righteous sex, they would still die to the lightning. Those who killed too many people would have too much resentment and would be struck by lightning. Actually, this was very normal. Using a flying sword to kill people would absorb their life potential, and during the absorption process, they would develop resentment. The flying sword would also absorb the resentment and gather it together. Over time, it would form a powerful negative energy. These attribute electric ions, when gathered to a certain extent, would attract the positive ions between heaven and earth, forming a violent thunderstorm that would destroy people together. In reality, no matter how many people you killed, you wouldn't absorb the negative energy. Even if you killed millions or tens of millions of people, you wouldn't trigger lightning. After killing people, the energy would slowly dissipate and return to the world. It wouldn't be absorbed. Ding dong. Hong Heiyu replied, "What are you afraid of? The sword absorbs one's life potential along with the negative ions. This is an inevitable law. In the future, lightning will be triggered. This is science and not karma. The heart is fearless. It doesn't matter if it's good or evil. The Buddhist scriptures say that Buddhism isn't good, not bad, not evil, not evil. It's a form of permanence. The Vimalakirti scripture says that cultivation isn't to cut off one's worries but to comprehend them. Worry is peace, and that is true cultivation. However, it's no wonder you don't understand this. You haven't reached the state of permanence and your heart is still confused. You just need to remember not to care about the good and evil of the sword. This is just a scientific phenomenon. What if I kill too many people and get struck by lightning? Jiang Li was still worried and asked curiously. That's very normal. You have to experience lightning in order to be reborn. Swords also have to experience lightning in order to become spirit swords. That's the stage you have to go through. Even if it's the cultivation of the human body, after forming the saint embryo, you have to absorb the power of the 5 elements and gather it together to trigger lightning. After going through the tempering of tribulation, your mind will be strengthened, and you will transcend mortality and enter another realm. To tell you the truth, I'm about to step into this realm. Hong Heiyu continued to explain, this is what cultivation is all about. It all depends on the heart. If the heart is strong, the world will be strong. If the heart is weak, the world will be weak. If the heart is weak, the world will be weak. At the beginning of the heart, there is no good or evil. It is silent and eternal like the void. When the human heart comes to the material world, the concept of good and evil will appear, so you don't have to worry about anything. Of course, I'm not asking you to do whatever you want. That's just asking you to take a wrong path. I understand. Jiang Li understood everything after listening to Hong Heiyu's explanation. I will use this sword well. I won't cut off my worries. Instead, I will comprehend my worries, which is nirvana. From there will be no sword. Not bad, not bad. When swordsmanship is cultivated to the highest level, there will be no sword. When the sword and the body become one, there will be no sword. When your sword and your flesh and blood become one, that's when you truly comprehend the realm. It's still too early. The 7 slaughter demon sword is divided into 2 types. The mother sword is the spirit sword that Chen Tianshu obtained, and the child swords are the 49 swords you obtained. The mother and child swords are invincible in the world. Without the child swords, the mother sword is incomplete. Without the mother sword, the child swords are also incomplete. Therefore, the moment you obtain the sword, you and Chen Tianshu have formed karma. In the future, there will be entanglement and entanglement. Hong Heiyu's answer was very mysterious. He continued, are you dealing with the Jiang family on Earth right now? Be careful. The Jiang family has Jiang Nalan, who has shown his divinity. That kind of power is not something you and I can contend with. However, if you unite with the Wang family, there is hope. This is also a kind of cultivation for you. If things don't work out, come back. Remember, where there is life, there is hope. Yes, teacher, don't worry. I will do what I can. After this email was sent, Hong Heiyu did not reply and went offline. When Jiangli saw that Hong Heiyu had hung up, he knew that his teacher knew everything about him. He was always concerned about his safety, even when he came to Earth. Beep, 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 another email was sent. It was from Wang Rulai. You went to the black market? Don't act rashly. I just got the news that the holy statue of Jiang Nailan has been set up in the black market. After the consecration, it has actually manifested. Now our plan has changed. I thought that Jiang Nailan would not notice this place, but I didn't expect that he would spend his energy to pay attention to this place in his busy schedule. He used his extremely strong mind to cross the distance of time and space. I know. I saw the scene of the divinity show, Jiang Li replied immediately. Of course, I won't act rashly. I immediately returned to the capital. Come quickly. Let's get together and discuss the specific countermeasures. Wang Rulai said. Brother, are we going back to the Red Emperor group now? Jiang Xian asked. Yes. Jiang Li nodded and waved at Dyer. Don't you want to see Wang Rulai? I'll take you to him. Thank you. Dyer was full of joy. It was not easy to meet a big shot like Wang Rulai. With Jiang Li's introduction, she could have a relationship with the Wang family. Emo Chen gathered his courage and asked cautiously, What about us? He actually wanted to have a relationship with the Wang family. Hearing this, Jiang Li turned around and looked straight at Emo Chen. He said slowly and in a low voice, Forget what just happened. Go home and sleep. When you wake up, you will forget everything. Yes, Emo Chen immediately became dumbfounded. He turned around and left the crowd, walking in the direction of his home. He really became a walking corpse. This sent chills down everyone's spines, and they couldn't help but shiver. After Emo Chen left, Jiang Li smiled. He will forget everything that just happened. He will also forget me and even forget Jiang Xian. That will save him a lot of trouble. This hypnosis is incredible. Daphne shuddered. You can control other people's minds at will, right? Emo Chen cultivates an extremely powerful meditation method called Furnace Inner Ape Method. It is very difficult to hypnotize him. Furnace Inner Ape Method? I know about this and I dabble in it. Jiang Li recalled that this was the cultivation method Chu Shan had told him. If he cultivated it occasionally, he would be able to subdue the inner ape method. This Emo Chen is arrogant and domineering. Instead of subduing the inner ape method, he was subdued by the inner ape method. This way, he will have a strong mental state, but it is not the right path. That's right. The Furnace Inner Ape Method has two forms. The first is to refine the inner ape method and form the Golden Dan. His mental power will increase, and he will enter a meditative state. The second is to refine the inner ape method and wreak havoc in the heavens. His mental power will also increase, but he will become violent. This is not chi deviation but releasing the power of the inner ape method to push the cauldron down and destroy everything. Using strength to destroy the cauldron, using violence to conquer the heavens. Daphne had a deep understanding of cultivation method. Emo Chen is walking on the second path. This way, his mental power will be very strong, but there are many drawbacks. It is like walking on a tightrope. Once he succeeds, he will become extremely powerful. If he fails, he will completely fall. I didn't expect such a strong mental power to be subdued by you. It is easy to subdue a inner ape method. Let's go back and discuss the countermeasures first. Jiang Li was in a hurry to return to the Red Emperor Corporation to discuss with Wang Rulai. He didn't linger on this topic. The topic of cultivation could not be finished even if they talked for 3 days and 3 nights. Half an hour later, Jiang Li brought Jiang Xian and Daphne to the headquarters of the Red Emperor Corporation. Wang Rulai and Wang Changrong, uncle and nephew, were both sitting there motionlessly. They seemed to be communicating with each other in the depths of their hearts. When they saw Jiang Li bring a few students in, they glanced at them indifferently. Daphne, Han Yun, and Zhao Xiu were stunned. They sat down obediently and didn't dare to speak. Their hearts were suppressed and a serious atmosphere was created. However, Jiang Xian didn't care at all. She smiled and said, "Master, your life force has increased a lot. Do you have anything good for me? Is this Brother Relai? Do you have a gift for me?" She smiled evilly and stretched out her hand. "Ha ha ha, yes, yes, of course." Wang Rulai laughed. The atmosphere immediately became relaxed. He waved his hand and a box in the distance was sucked over. "This is a high-tech drug gene enhancement potion. It doesn't change the genes of the human body but strengthens the gene chain. It will make the gene bond more possible. It will be very helpful for your future cultivation." Gene enhancement potion. Daphne exclaimed, "This is a drug of the highest life science. It can't be described with value because it is still in the research stage and hasn't been released to the market. Rumor has it that after it is released to the market, the human body will undergo a genetic revolution and the overall quality of human beings will be improved. The process of this drug is too complicated. It can't be mass-produced." Wang Rulai looked at Daphne. Not many people knew about the Genetic Revolution project. "This girl is from the Chun family and has a deep relationship with the Wang family," Wang Changrong said. "The Chun family?" Wang Rulai was lost in thought. The ancestors of the Wang family and the Chun family had a deep relationship. Unfortunately, the ancestor of the Chun family, Chun Aiyang, died in an epoch-making martial arts competition. Otherwise, the Chun family would probably still be alive. Let's not talk about this. Let's talk about the Jiang family's holy light show. Wang Changrong turned on the big screen of the optical computer. Immediately, images of the holy statue, thunder, and surging wind and clouds appeared on it. "This holy light show is real. It's very powerful." Wang Rulai looked serious. "My original plan was that Jiang Li you would attack and we would support you from the side. We would destroy the more than 20 sonic mechas of the Jiang family in one fell swoop and then sweep away the obstacles. That would be a thunderous strike. But now it seems that things are not so simple. In the Jiang family's development plan, the black market is an important part. That's why the people inside the Jiang family directly interfered and invited Jiang Nalan's holy spirit. That's strange. Jiang Nalan is the same generation as me." Jiang Li had a strange look on his face. Once he succeeds, his name will immediately go down in the family tree and he will be invincible. Even his grandfather, uncle, and even more senior will have to pray to his holy statue and pray for blessings. This completely messes up ethics and hierarchy. It's normal. In this world, strength is everything. Moreover, once a holy light show is achieved, he is no longer a human, but a god. There is an insurmountable barrier between gods and humans. According to scientific theory, after a holy light show, the human mind will return to the void realm and appear in the physical world. There will be no karma or entanglement with the secular world. Wang Changrong's expression was calm. However, so what if it's a holy light show? The Jiang family's influence in the black market must be wiped out. I want to push down that holy statue. This is my cultivation, my path. Chapter 181. Topple the holy statue? Jiang Li was shocked. He was speechless at Wang Changrong's thoughts. At the same time, he was shocked by his thoughts. Sure enough, he could do what others couldn't. The holy statue of a vision domain expert could bestow blessings. It was spiritual and could attract thunder from the sky. It was mighty like the god of thunder and the Jade Emperor. It was unstoppable. At the very least, Jiang Li didn't have any thoughts of toppling the holy statue. He even wanted to leave Earth and go back to continue cultivating. Once his cultivation was deep enough, he would come back to open up the black market. How could he be as firm and unshakable as Wang Changrong? If he met a god, he would kill a god. If he met a Buddha, he would kill a Buddha. He was almost invincible. Uncle, when a vision domain expert is angry, his mind can cross countless space-time to attack us. We can't bear it at all. Although Jiang Nailan is in the mysterious world, and is being held back by the experts of the cultivation world, we can't act rashly. Wang Rulai was also trying to dissuade him. Rulai Wang, how long have you been comprehending Changding? Wang Changrong didn't answer and asked instead. About 3 years. 3 years is longer than mine. What a shame that your Tao immortal is far inferior to mine. Wang Changrong's expression was unperturbed, but he seemed to be lamenting. What's wrong with having so many misgivings? I crawled out of hell and have long understood the impermanence of life and death, as well as the changes of life and death. The world of mortals is like smoke and clouds. Not to mention a small holy statue, even if a real god comes, so what? Uncle, it's not that I don't support you in this matter, but you can't be reckless. Rulai sneered. What does Jiang Nailan matter? My Wang family's old ancestor hasn't died yet. This time, the Wang family's old ancestor has shown his spirit. It's clear that he has seen through all the wisdom in the world and knows that there will be a battle between our Wang family and the Jiang family. Who does Jiang Nailan think she is? How dare she compete with our Wang family's old ancestor? Wang Changrong said disdainfully, Our ancestors bless us. Naturally, we have nothing to fear. Let's carry out the plan and get ready to enter the black market. 3 days later then. Wang Rulai made his decision, and his expression was firm. Jiang Li, 3 days later, the 3 of us will enter the black market, kill all the experts of the Jiang family, destroy the mechas, and topple Jiang Nailan's holy statue. 3 days, so fast. Jiang Li was shocked. I'm not confident. I've seen the power of Jiang Nailan's holy statue with my own eyes. I'm afraid I won't be able to defeat it. It's not that I've lost confidence, but I feel that the disparity in strength is too great. I need to analyze it calmly and not throw an egg at a rock. Yes. Wang Changrong did not blame or feel displeased at all. You have your way, and our Wang family has our way. We will never back down because of a mere holy statue. You can back down temporarily, but our Wang family cannot back down. To advance bravely, to be invincible, to cut down everything, to grasp the void, this is the Wang family's original intention. Who said I'm retreating? Jiang Li stood up. You guys go and I'll go too. So what if it's Jiang Nailan? 3 days later, the 3 of us will go to the black market and fight. I'd like to see what will happen to Jiang Nailan when we destroy the Sun-Moon City of the Jiang family. Death is death. How heroic! You're worthy of being the person I've chosen. Wang Changrong laughed and patted Jiang Li on the shoulder. In that case, we don't need to say anything more, and we don't need to prepare anything. 3 days later, we'll directly enter the Huasu city and fight. No matter how many people there are, no matter what kind of experts they have, we don't care about life or death, and we'll kill to our heart's content. These 3 lunatics. How could such a big matter be decided so hastily? Daphne, who was standing at the side, heard everything clearly. She felt a chill in her heart. Originally, she thought that this matter would take a long time to plan, and that it would be a long battle. The fight between 2 families was equivalent to a business war between 2 large corporations. Neither could kill the other, and they could only play all kinds of tricks to take advantage of each other. In her expectation, the Wang family would also enter the black market and share the profits with the Jiang family. But now, it seemed that the Wang family was going to attack without any regard for their own lives. This was simply unexpected. They were truly fierce warriors. The Chen family doesn't need to do anything. This is a battle between the Wang family and the Jiang family. Wang Changrong glanced at Daphne. Beep, beep, beep. Just when Daphne was about to say something, a voice suddenly appeared on the optical computer screen. Mr. Kurong, someone is here to visit. It's the three magnates of the Jiang family, Jiang Zhenyue, Jiang Zhenshan, and Jiang Zhenlei. Oh! Wang Changrong looked at the convoy that appeared on the optical computer screen. It stopped above the sea, and was actually about to land under the island, and the position where it stopped had already entered the airspace of the Red Emperor Group. This was a blatant provocation. According to the modern law, 1 kilometer above a house was the airspace, and no one could fly above it. Now that the convoy was within a kilometer in the air, they had broken the law, but they were unscrupulous. Uncle, they're here. Should we meet them or not? Capital is a place of law, and we can't do anything. They must be fearless since they're here. Violating the airspace is a provocation. Wang Rulai's face was cold. Let them in. I want to see how hostile they are. Wang Changrong waved his hand in disdain and gave an order to the optical computer. Immediately, the convoy came down with a roar, but they didn't stop at the top of the building. Instead, they floated above it and people jumped down one by one. They moved quickly and occupied important positions, as if they were surrounded by bandits. This made Jiang Li and the others extremely uncomfortable. Ha! A burst of loud laughter was heard. It sounded like thunder reaching everyone's ears. The laughter came from a big man. He walked into the hall with his head held high, as if he knew the entire hall of the Red Emperor Group like the back of his hand. Even the huge artificial bulletproof crystal door that required a card to be swiped opened automatically, losing all its defense. It seemed that the optical computer had been hacked and the network was controlled. Sorry everyone, Mr. Kurong. I don't like people opening the door for me, so I opened the door automatically. The big man walked into the hall and saw Wang Changrong, Wang Rulai, Jiang Li, and the others sitting there. Seeing that they didn't get up to greet him, he also sat down. Then, the people of the Jiang family came in one by one. Without waiting for Jiang Li and the others to speak, they found chairs and sat down as if they were the owners of the entire Red Emperor Group, and Jiang Li and the others were outsiders. This action was almost tantamount to trespassing. You're Jiang Zhenlei, right? Wang Changrong looked at the big man who barged in first and said, an expert of the middle generation of the Jiang family. Back then, you were admitted to Starry Sky University and studied for 5 years. In the 5th exam, your vitality didn't meet the standard and you were advised to drop out. However, you're still an expert. You've been fighting with me and plotting against Jiang Zhendong for the past few months. You're indeed a good move. Not at all. I'm just testing Mr. Changrong's cultivation. Jiang Zhenlei sat on the chair and replied lazily. It was obvious that he didn't take these people seriously. Jiang Li immediately saw Jiang Zhenyue and another person who was on the same level as him. The person's aura was as steady as a mountain, and he was also a powerful figure. It must be Jiang Zhenshan. Jiang Zhenyue was a businessman, so his vitality wasn't strong. However, he had control over the finances, and he was a cut above others in terms of operations. On the other hand, Jiang Zhenshan and Jiang Zhenlei were combat talents in the family. In the Jiang family there were 3 kinds of talent. The first was combat talents, the second was business talents, and the third was scientific researchers. Combat talents had the highest status. Everything was centered on them, so as to ensure the family's prosperity. After all, only among combat talents would there be a big figure like Jiang Nailan. Business talents were also good. They had control over the finances and enjoyed a lot of benefit. As for scientific researchers, they were sad. They had to listen to the arrangements of others and didn't even have the right to give birth, let alone inheritance and other rights. In the family, it was always combat talents who were in power. Mr. Changrong, I heard that you're making a big move this time. Is the Wang family going to intervene in the black market of Suhua City? Jiang Zhenyue, who had been calm and collected, glared at Jiang Li. However, our Jiang family has entered the black market first. We hope to cooperate with the Wang family for a win-win situation. What kind of win-win situation? Wang Rulai didn't get angry. He was also a calm person. I heard that you got a lot of goods this time and want to sell them in the black market? Jiang Zhenyue spoke with fervor and assurance, as if he had a lot of information. Among your goods, there are a lot of prohibited items, such as mechas, medicine, and even some elixirs of the cultivation civilization. These things can't be bought and sold in the public market. You have to go through the black market, but your Wang family doesn't have any channels in the black market. How about this, you give us all the goods, and our Jiang family will sell them all for you. We will only take 70% of the channel fees. How about that? Hee, I didn't hear you wrong, did I? Wang Rulai sneered. It was obvious that he was laughing out of extreme anger. You charge 70% of the channel fees? Does that mean that we will still lose money even if we include the profits? No, how can we lose money? Jiang Zhenyue's tone was gloomy. Because our Jiang family's business is very big and we have many channels, so we can sell them at a high price. Moreover, the channel is king now. It's already very kind of us to charge you 70% of the channel fees. Think about it, the longer the goods are stored here, the longer the funds can't be recovered, and the greater the losses you will suffer. Moreover, those things are prohibited items after all, and they are only safe in the black market because the human government won't investigate them. If you put them here, as long as someone reports them, you will lose both your money and be put in jail. Why bother? So, your Jiang family will report us. Wang Rulai's tone became more and more unkind. The other party was obviously threatening them. We can make money, so we naturally won't report them. If we can't make money, and some families still want to threaten our position, then we have no choice but to use some means to destroy them all. Jiang Zhenlei sat steadily with his arms crossed. There seemed to be an aura of thunder around his body. As long as he made a move, it would definitely be like thunder and lightning, violent and fierce, and his body contained a strong vitality. Wang Rulai finally sneered, "What a joke! The Jiang family is actually threatening our Wang family? So what? Your ancestor is missing and has fallen in the vast starry sky, while our pillar, Jiang Nalan, is still on the battlefield on the alien planet, protecting and fighting for human beings." Jiang Zhinshan was aggressive. Yes, your Wang family is powerful, but apart from the missing ancestor, who else can compete with our master Nalan? You have to admit that the glory of the past is in the past after all. Chapter 182. When the Jiang family arrived at the Scarlet Emperor Corporation, they were simply unscrupulous. They even mocked the Wang family, as if they were certain that they could defeat this group of people. Jiang Li was already furious, but he didn't explode. This was the capital, not the black market, so he couldn't act recklessly. He could only argue. He didn't want to make a move in the Scarlet Emperor Corporation. If he broke something, it would be his loss. Boom. Wang Rulai stood up with killing intent. His eyes were like sharp blades as he coldly looked at Jiang Zhinshan. Very good. Our Wang family was glorious in the past, but now we can't? This is the first time I've heard someone say something like this, and it came from the mouth of the Jiang family. It seems like your Jiang family has been eyeing our Wang family's position more than once or twice, causing your confidence to swell and your arrogance. If your Wang family's ancestor could come back or show some supernatural abilities, we would still be a bit afraid, but it's just a bit of fear, nothing more. Jiang Zhinshan was fearless and didn't care about Wang Rulai's killing intent at all. He sat comfortably and became even more arrogant. His lazy appearance was very hateful. That's right, I came here to tell you a piece of news. Our saint, Jiang Nalan, made a breakthrough in the extraterrestrial battlefield. He killed a peerless ancestor and obtained his cave abode and various treasures. He even enslaved that ancestor and turned him into his second primordial spirit, causing his strength to double. The various resources of that peerless ancestor's sect were all obtained by our Jiang family, and our great master Jiang Nalan's strength also skyrocketed. I think that even if your ancestor appeared again, I'm afraid that he wouldn't be his opponent. That's right, I admit that your ancestor Wang Chao was once the strongest human, but so what? The number one has long since disappeared. Don't you know that each generation has its own talents, each leading the way for hundreds of years? So that brat Jiang Nalan obtained such an achievement, so your Jiang family has become arrogant. Wang Changrong's expression was still the same as before. He wasn't shocked by these words. It was Jiang Li's heart that sunk. He knew what kind of concept a peerless old ancestor of the cultivation world was. They were both vision domain realm experts, but he was actually killed and all the resources in his cave were taken by someone else. Like this, the Sun-Moon Group's assets and strength would increase by 10 times. He dreamt back to the cultivation world and knew how vast the wealth of those peerless old ancestors was. It was not something that any human group could compare to. It could be said that even if the Sun-Moon Corporation did business for another 200 years, all the resources they accumulated would only be a tenth or even 100th of the wealth of a peerless ancestor. If they could obtain all of the wealth, they would immediately become one of the top 10 corporations in the human world. However, it was not just the top 500 but the top 10 corporations. Their powerful economic power could cause the entire human world to change, and they could casually cause a financial storm. Shut up! When Jiang Zhenlei heard Wang Changrong call Jiang Nalan brat, he instantly roared out in anger, Wang Changrong, I'm being polite to you, but you don't know how to appreciate my kindness. You actually dare to insult our Jiang family's saint. Saint Nalan is a divine dragon, and you are an ant. What qualifications do you have to speak nonsense here? Angry? Wang Changrong gently stroked the armrest of the chair, and said in a slow voice, You are uninvited guests that came uninvited. You're making a ruckus in front of the host. Do you want me to be polite to you? Making a ruckus in front of the host? Jiang Zhenyue laughed out loud, his eyes full of mockery. It seems that in this Red Emperor Corporation, we are the hosts and you are the guests. If my information is correct, the current chairman of the Red Emperor Corporation is this brat, Jiang Li. He pointed at Jiang Li with deep hatred in his eyes. His surname is Jiang. No matter what, the Jiang family's genes flow in his blood and cannot be erased. He is a member of the Jiang family when he is alive and a ghost of the Jiang family when he is dead. His father, Jiang Zhendong, has already signed an agreement with the Jiang family. Everything that belongs to him belongs to the Jiang family, so everything that belongs to him belongs to the Jiang family. If we went through the proper channels and sued the law, I'm afraid that the property would have been ours long ago. When Jiang Li heard this, a raging fire burned in his heart. However, he suppressed it and didn't show it on his face. Instead, he smiled and said, Does that mean that the Scarlet Emperor Corporation is also your wealth? That's right. Jiang Zhenyue said firmly, Not only the Red Emperor Corporation, but also your life belongs to the Jiang family. If the Jiang family wants you dead, you will die. If the Jiang family wants you alive, you will live. You can't go against it. Anyone who has the Jiang family's genes must abide by the family rules, which have been passed down for hundreds of years. And Jiang Zhenlei interrupted, Wang Changrong, Wang Rulai, the Jiang family came here this time to use peaceful means before resorting to force. There are 2 things that we want you to do. First, the Wang family wants to cooperate with us. You can use our channels to sell your goods, and we will pay 70% of the channel fees. Of course, you have to give us the goods first, and we will settle the payment after we sell them. It is absolutely impossible for us to pay first. Second, we are here today to deal with the internal affairs of the family. Jiang Zhendong and Jiang Li, the father and son, are traitors of the Jiang family and must be punished. The Red Emperor Corporation will also be taken back by the Jiang family. How arrogant! Are you trying to force us into a corner? Wang Changrong raised his eyebrows. Force you? I'm not forcing you. Jiang Zhenlei retorted, If the Wang family insists on interfering with the internal affairs of the Jiang family, then the Jiang family will have to interfere with the internal affairs of the Wang family. Don't blame us for not reminding you that the Wang family will not be able to escape the wrath of the Jiang family. It's very simple. We've already taken over the market on Earth. If the Wang family wants to get involved, they'll have to pay for the channels. If you pay now, it'll only be 70%. If you pay too late and our Jiang family turns the entire Earth into a black market in the future, I'm afraid you'll have to pay 90% or even more. Wang Jinyue finally revealed his ambition. The Jiang family is really ambitious. Dai finally couldn't help but say. At first, she thought that the Jiang family would only expand the black market in Huasu City and gradually devour the surrounding areas, causing chaos in the 36 Hua cities. She didn't expect the Jiang family to be even more ambitious. They wanted to turn the entire Earth into a black market where people could kill and set fires everywhere. Little niece of the Chen family. Jiang Jinyue looked at Dai with disdain. I don't think you have the right to speak here. I guarantee that if you say one more word, your family will punish you severely. They might even take away your right to enter Star Sky University. I remember that you have a few brothers and sisters who are studying as well. You have the best grades and the strongest vitality, so you are the heir of the family. But if you say one more word, I will support them right now and your status will plummet. What? The Jiang family wants to interfere with the internal affairs of the Chen family? Dai didn't back down. You don't know what's good for you. Jiang Jinyue snorted coldly. He activated his optical chip and sent an email to an unknown person. After a while, Dai's chip vibrated and a virtual screen popped up. A dignified middle-aged man appeared and said with a serious expression, Dai, come back now. Don't meddle in this matter. Mr. Chen, your daughter is very disobedient. I'm very unhappy. Jiang Jinyue's voice was gloomy. If this continues, the Jiang family and the Chen family will be very unhappy. The consequences will be very serious. Mr. Jiang, I'm sorry. I'll discipline my daughter. The middle-aged man hurriedly apologized. He seemed to have been caught red-handed and turned to Dai. How could you be so rude to Mr. Jiang? They're your elders. Hurry up and apologize. Dad, the Jiang family wants to expand the Dahe city and turn the entire Earth into a black market. Aren't you going to stop them? Dai shouted. Shut up, the Jiang family's way of doing things is not something you can understand. This is a big strategic change. Your responsibility is to study hard and get into Starry Sky University. Don't worry about anything else. Hurry up and apologize and come back, otherwise I won't have a daughter like you. The middle-aged man's voice became extremely sharp. Crack. Dai ended the video call and sneered. Jiang Jinyue, do you think you can stop me by asking my dad? If I don't have my own Dao, how can I be like this? Who do you think you are? How dare you talk about Dao? You betrayed the family. That's disgraceful. Jiang Jinyue was stunned. He didn't expect Dai to be so determined. But he didn't care. You're digging your own grave. You've lost the support of the family. Who do you think you are? How can you be like this? Enough! Wang Changrong suddenly said, Jiang Zhenlei and the rest of you. Today I will tell you clearly. First, the Wang family wants the entire black market. Jiang Nalin's statue cannot stand anywhere on Earth. Second, the Wang family has shares in the Crimson Emperor Corporation. If you want it, fine. Use your lives to exchange for it. Third, disappear now. I don't want to see you again. Bang. Jiang Zhenlei stood up. As he moved, the chair he was sitting on was smashed into pieces. The chair was very expensive. It was made from wood from the Imperial planet. It was worth more than 100,000 yuan. But he destroyed it so easily. Fine. The Wang family will be destroyed in 3 days. I will give you 3 days to think about it. After 3 days, don't blame us for being impolite. Don't think that we can't do anything to you just because you're not in the black market. We have started the legal process and will sue you in court. We will take all the wealth and land of the Crimson Emperor Corporation. Also, Jiang Zhendong must fulfill the contract and continue to study the essence of the sun and moon for us. He will lose his freedom. Just you wait. Little bastard, your good days are coming to an end. Do you think that your mentor, the madman named Hong Heiyu, can do whatever he wants just because he is the vice principal? Let me tell you, our Saint Naylan is working hard. Soon, a master of the Jiang family will become the vice principal. At that time, the only thing you can rely on will be taken away. Fine. I will wait for you. Jiang Li raised his eyebrows and replied coldly. Suddenly, a voice came from the AI chip. Hello, Chairman of the Crimson Emperor Corporation, Mr. Jiang Li. Your corporation has been sued by the Sun and Moon conglomerate because of the ownership of the corporation's asset. I hope you can hire a team of lawyers and go to the highest court on earth to defend yourself. It was an email from the court. Chapter 183. Son of AB****TCH. Jiang Li saw the mail from the court. He was so angry that his body was about to burn. He suppressed it with the fire seal of the great emperor, but he could no longer hide his murderous intent. The other party was indeed forcing them into a dead end. They used the law to force him and his father into a dead end. This was more terrifying than any assassination. It was an open and above-board plot. He did not know how they filed the lawsuit, but the court actually accepted it. However, Jiang Li could imagine that his father must have signed some documents with the Sun-Moon Group. Now, the Sun-Moon Group suddenly took them out to kill him and his father. Back then, when his father was in the Sun-Moon Corporation, he didn't have any human rights. He was casually forced to sign some document. That was a very normal thing. Brother, don't worry about the lawsuit. Wang Rulai walked over and patted Jiang Li on the shoulder. The lawsuit is a long one. It's not uncommon for it to last for years or even decades. The verdict won't be announced so soon. Under normal circumstances, the lawsuit will definitely take a long time. However, we have already initiated emergency judicial procedures. I believe there will be a result in a few months. At that time, not only will all of you go bankrupt, the most important thing is that Jiang Zhendong will have to obediently work for us. At that time, we will make him wish he was dead. Jiang Zhenlei laughed out loud and walked out. However, his voice was still heard. You're just playing around. You want to study the essence of the sun and the moon? This violates the fundamental interests of the Sun-Moon Group. We can't tolerate it. So, we have to kill you. We have to kill you completely. Before long, the group of people from the Sun and Moon Corporation had all left. Only Jiang Li, Der Jiangxian, Wang Rulai, Wang Changrong, Han Yun, and Zhao Xiu were left. Their faces were pale from fear. They had yet to catch their breath. Both Jiang Zhenshan and Jiang Zhenlei were top-notch powerhouses. No one dared to move under their aura. However, they still obeyed the human law. They did not start a fight here. It seems like we have to kill all of them. A cruel smile finally appeared on Jiang Li's face. Mr. Kurong, what do you think of Jiang Zhenlei's strength? I can't see clearly, but his body seems to be shrouded by a huge power. It's very imposing. Clearly, he's been blessed by Jiang Naylan. I'm not sure either, but I'm sure that Jiang Zhenlei and Jiang Zhenshan are both at Changding's realm. They've fought with us many times, but their vitality hasn't reached 2 digits. Just the two of them aren't much, but I'm sure that there are true experts in Sun-Moon City. Wang Changrong's gaze was extremely sharp. No matter what, we need to take action in 3 days and get rid of these people. Then the lawsuit will automatically be resolved. I've already hired a team of lawyers to alleviate the situation. Once we completely occupy the black market, the Red Emperor Group will move into the black market. At that time, there will be no legal jurisdiction, so they won't be able to sue us even if they want to. Wang Rulai began to activate the optical computer chip. His connections were extremely huge, and they could not be destroyed in a short period of time. If that's the case, we'll take action in 3 days. Jiang Li had already made up his mind. I'm going out to make some preparations. Whoosh! Without another word, his figure had already disappeared from the hall. If there's anything, send me an email. He was going to look for Dahe now. Dahe was not in the black market, but in a private research institute in the capital. It had already undergone a large-scale transformation and evolved into the 3 forms of the sky-shaking thunder beast. Its strength was extremely tyrannical, and its understanding of the soul had become deeper. In these 3 days, Jiang Li wanted to study with it carefully on how to wipe out the Sunmoon Group. It was a 50-story building with the sign Research Institute written on it. It was not open to the public. There were countless such buildings in the capital, and there were also many private groups that engaged in scientific research. This was a research institute that Dahe had built with the resources he had obtained from wandering around the black market for more than a year and subduing the gangs. It specialized in researching life and genetic science, analyzing various mysteries, and at the same time, providing for his own cultivation. Entering the research institute, the door was closed. Jiang Li sent an email, and the door opened. When he went inside and the door was closed, a group of cats suddenly came over. Puff, 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 puff. They all pounced on him. It was the Flower Mask King, Demeng, and the other little kittens. No, they were no longer little kittens but big cat. Their bodies were almost the size of dogs. Their claws were sharp, their eyes were shrewd, and they could speak human language. Jiang Li, you're finally back. Did you bring us anything good this time? We want gift. The Flower Mask King and the little kittens actually asked for gifts for the first time. Yes, I brought them. I specifically asked Wang Rulai for pet medicine called Cat Miracle Medicine. This was specially researched by someone in the elite area who raised pet cat. It's not sold in the ordinary area. Jiang Li took out a few pills. This medicine is very valuable. It can develop the intelligence of cats, enhance life, activate cells, and repair genes. Really? We want it. The Flower Mask King waved its paw and snatched the medicine. Demeng Tumeng, you're still young. I'll keep this medicine for you. You can take it when you grow up. I'll taste it first in case it's poisonous. As it spoke, it took out a pill and ate it. Bulsh *T. Demeng was like a little tiger. It pounced and fought with the Flower Mask King. You dare to steal my things. I'll kill you. You stole my things every day when you were young. Now you want to steal it again? Brothers, let's go. Tumeng and the other kittens also pounced. The 5 kittens chased and attacked the Flower Mask King. Suddenly, the whole scene was a mess. Bang! Finally, the Flower Mask King was surrounded and couldn't move. In the end, it handed over the medicine one by one. It was no match for the 5 kittens. What's all this noise about? A voice came from afar. From the dark door, a black cat as big as a tiger walked out. Its body was as black as the darkest night. Its wings flapped slightly on its back, bringing up a series of wind blades. On its head, a horn released electric arcs. It smelled a little like a demon from hell, but it had a holy aura. Dahe. Jiang Li's body moved and appeared in front of it. He stroked its fur and said, "Your vitality is so strong. What realm has your mental power reached?" He could already see that Dahe's vitality was at least 5, not lower than his. Moreover, its level seemed to be higher than his. The reason why Dahe could increase its vitality to such a high level in such a short time was very simple. It was because Dahe had given up his original body through genetic modification. If Jiang Li was willing to give up his original human form and become a half-human, half-beast monster, it would be easy for his vitality to reach double digits. However, the humans had forbidden people from transforming into half-human, half-beast creatures. If they discovered this, they would immediately get rid of it. Moreover, they would have to give up their human form and become a monster, which was incredibly difficult to accept. Dahei did not care. Animals did not have such a concept. As long as they became stronger, they could evolve at will. I have already comprehended Chang Ding. Dahei's tone was very calm. The brain of the universe has indeed seized the creation of heaven and earth. It is the most mysterious of the mysteries. With the great Emperor's thunder seal as the foundation, I absorbed the energy of the electric current, which was decomposed by my cells and strengthened my brain cells. Suddenly, I understood the profound realm of immobility. I got rid of the fetters and distinguished the inner demons. These days, while you were studying at Starry Sky University, I was not idle either. I read all the classics of humanity, the Sanzang of Buddhism, the Taoist canon, the Quran, the Bible, and many martial arts classics and history books from ancient times to the present. Turns out that humans have such a vast history and brilliant civilization. I really didn't expect that you humans could stand out in the natural evolution. It is indeed magical. We cats have also evolved for many years, but we have never been able to develop intelligence, become intelligent creatures, and create a civilization. No wonder, I feel that you are a lot more knowledgeable and have the aura of a great scholar. From now on, you are a scholar Dahei. Jiangli laughed. Roar, roar, roar. Dahei roared. I am not only a scholar Dahei, but also a warrior Dahei, a Buddha Dahei, and a saint Dahei. Jiangli, are you going to take action now that you are back? Are you going to destroy the Jiang family's influence in the black market? That's right, the Jiang family has already forced me into a dead end. I can no longer endure. This time, I am here to quickly increase your strength. Jiang Li's eyes flashed. I have a flying sword, and your body is stronger than mine. You can refine it. This flying sword is the Seven Slaughter Demon Sword. After killing someone, it can absorb their life potential. I will give it all to you now. You can use it to kill people in the future. Jiang Li looked around and suddenly moved. All of a sudden, the qi and blood in his body boiled, and his stomach rumbled. Then, something flickering with golden light shot out. This was a sword pellet condensed from 5 flying swords. Now, it was a mass of energy that could be breathed out. Originally, with this sword pellet, his body's strength, speed, and lethality would increase by tens of times, or even 100 times. It could tear through a mecha at the speed of sound. But now, he had spat out the sword pellet. Without the support of this ball of energy, the strength of his body would greatly decrease. In the future, he would have to rely on controlling the airflow and condensing innate stellar energy to fly. His vitality began to drop from 1 to 4, 5, and finally it dropped again, stopping at 4. In this short period of time, his vitality had dropped to 1. His body felt weak, but his spirit became incomparably firm. Although he had given up an extremely important thing, he had cut off the entanglement. At the same time, the 44 flying swords flew out from the depths of the great Emperor's relic and began to revolve around the sword pellet. Jiang Li carefully explained the profoundness of the 7 Slaughter Demon sword to Dahei. Ha ha ha, Jiang Li, in order to give up this sword, you didn't even hesitate to lower your own vitality. This sword absorbed a lot of your life potential, and you gave it up just like that. You are really amazing. It seems that you will soon enter regular meditation. However, I want this sword. The more I kill, the stronger my life potential. Why not? I can become a demon with a thought, a god with a thought. If I don't enter hell, who will? Dahei swallowed the sword pellet in one gulp. Chapter 184. Jiang Li gave up on the sword. He gave up on the Yin demon. Although his life force regressed, from then on, he wouldn't have any demons in his heart. He could peacefully cultivate and improve step by step. He gave up on a temporary increase in strength in exchange for a long period of peace. This was his giving up, his choice. Jiang Li followed the righteous path, and wasn't willing to absorb the potential of others to strengthen himself. Instead, he comprehended the mysteries of heaven and earth to improve himself. Their hearts connected and he walked on another path. Dahe obtained the sword. If I don't enter hell, who will? If I don't become a demon, then who will? With the Een demon in his body, he subdued it for his own use. If he didn't treat it as a demon, then it wouldn't be a demon. His realm was so high that it was hard to measure. It didn't matter whether it was good or evil, it could be changed at will. Those who were good would be good, those who were evil would be evil. Good or bad depended on one's heart. This was different from Jiangli. The sword enters the stomach, sharpness is born. Gold covers the body, Buddhist light shines. Dahe swallowed the sword pellet and his body shone with a golden light. He opened his mouth and sang the words that he wrote himself. His vital energy surged and the killing energy in his body sliced inch by inch. Jiangli could sense that this was the pain of being sliced into pieces. However, Dahe was really calm, like he was listening to the Tao and there was nothing wrong with it at all. Jiangli, I know that when you were refining the flying sword, you were in great pain. However, you don't understand meditation, and you don't know what it means by nirvana is suffering. Heavenly maids scatter flowers. Wei Mo is untainted. Pain is a feeling of the material world. When your heart is like a void, you are completely separated from the material world. It's like a person standing outside the house of fire, watching the raging fire. Not adding pain to the body is happiness. There's actually no difference between the two. When the heart is at peace, the void will be at peace. When the heart is at peace, the matter will be at peace. This is the most profound state of the Mahayana Bodhisattva, surpassing the Suddha everlasting fruit, the Siddha Haman fruit, the Anagami fruit and the Arhat fruit. Dahe looked on as the golden light flowed around his body. He swallowed all the small swords, a total of 44. Instantly, the golden light on his body became brighter. His black fur actually turned pure gold. He changed from Dahe to big gold. After it swallowed all the swords, it walked to a deeper place. That place was a large round basin with a radius of 1 meter, like a large bathtub. The bathtub was filled with the essence of the sun and moon, but it was completely different from the essence of the sun and moon that Jiangli knew. The essence of the sun and moon in this basin was very rich. Jiangli could see that in the depths of the essence of the sun and moon, there were bubbles rising and falling at every moment. Each bubble was only the size of a thumb, but they were small taiji circles, black and white, with yin and yang circulating. They bobbed up and down in the water, some of them exploded when they emerged from the water surface, but there were even more bubbles forming at the bottom. It seemed to be the life and death of the taiji great Tao. Jiangli, this is the true essence of the sun and moon. Dahe entered the bathtub. The essence of the sun and moon sold in the market has been diluted. The Sun and Moon Corporation has faked it. In fact, the true essence of the sun and moon is very powerful. It is not inferior to the spiritual chi of heaven and earth. In fact, it is even more mysterious than the spiritual chi of heaven and earth. This basin of essence of the sun and moon is the result of your father's scientific research. He extracted the true essence from the vast amount of essence of the sun and moon. This is the taiji liquid, also known as the true water of virtue. I can use it to refine the flying swords and completely fuse the 49 swords together into a large sword pill. Actually, I have to thank you. You have cultivated for so long and provided a lot of life potential into the flying sword. By refining the flying swords, it is equivalent to absorbing your life potential. Jiangli did not speak. He looked at the essence of the sun and moon and sent his divine will into it. Indeed, he felt an extremely powerful aura seeping out from all directions. The original essence of the sun and moon was nothing compared to this essence that was emitting taiji bubbles. This was the true essence of the sun and moon, which allowed Earth to give birth to intelligent life. After research, I learned a series of secret. There was a period of time when the essence of the sun and moon exploded. Due to the changes in the celestial bodies, it seeped out and gave birth to human civilization. Humans were apes for millions of years, but they did not evolve into a civilization. In just a short 5,000 years, they suddenly exploded and moved towards the era of the universe. This was because there was a great civilization that interfered with the essence of the sun and moon, allowing it to permeate the human world and opening up human intelligence. However, in ancient times, the essence of the sun and moon dissipated once again, but humans had already opened up their intelligence and obtained power. 200 years later, that civilization that interfered with the explosion of the essence of the sun and moon once again came to the solar system and prepared to extract all the energy of the entire solar system. However, a problem occurred during the extraction process, which resulted in the destruction of the battleship. As Dahe absorbed the pure essence of the sun and moon and the true water of virtue, he spoke frankly with assurance, narrating the secrets of civilization. Is this what you researched? Humans have done a lot of research on the explosion of civilization, but most of them are inclined towards the interference of extraterrestrial civilizations. There are countless such scientific articles. Jiang Li sat down and discussed with Dahe. However, that huge battleship from 200 years ago was indeed related to the future and fate of mankind. How do you feel now? With so many flying swords merging into your body, how do you feel? I feel very good. The essence of the sun and moon itself is an extremely tyrannical energy that regulates the flesh and enhances vitality. My current body structure is 100 times stronger than yours. According to the ancient sayings, I have the body of a demon god. The genes of the sky-shaking thunder beast actually do not eat flesh and blood, but thunder. I am also charging every day and devouring a large amount of electricity. The food I eat is of a higher grade than yours. Actually, the strength of a species mainly depends on what it eats. The higher the grade of the food it eats, the stronger it is. You eat flesh and blood, and I eat thunder. My life form is of a higher grade than yours. Therefore, it is difficult for you to refine the flying swords, but it is easy for me to refine the flying swords. Dahe closed his eyes and pondered, looking like a saint. Zzz. Suddenly, the bathtub was connected to electricity. Circles of electric currents transformed into sparks that revolved around his body, but they were all absorbed by his horn. Dahe's body started to become transparent, and under the powerful electric currents, the flying swords he had swallowed melted and fused into the huge sword pellet. At the same time, the huge sword pellet became stronger and stronger. In the end, there was a singing voice. This singing voice was Dahe's own voice, but it also seemed to be his soul. The electric currents grew stronger and stronger, but Dahe wasn't afraid at all. The 44 flying swords melted one after another, and the huge sword pellet also absorbed the essence of the sun and moon at the same time. All the essence of the sun and moon in the bathtub was completely absorbed. The sword pellet trembled. In the end, it stopped in Dahe's body and slowly circulated, absorbing the electricity. Jiang Li saw that in Dahe's body, a pearl had fused with the sword pellet. That was the heaven-shaking thunder beast's relic. The final form of a flying sword is to be tempered by lightning before turning into a spirit sword. It's very difficult for humans to withstand it, but the heaven-shaking thunder beast feeds on lightning, so it's not afraid at all. Therefore, it's the best choice for me to practice my sword. Whatever devils or baleful auras, they'll all be reduced to nothingness under my lightning arts. Dahe's life form changed once again. He was like a ball of lightning or a lump of metal. His vitality was rising steadily as endless electric currents were absorbed into his body. Originally, my body couldn't absorb much electric currents, but after the heaven-shaking thunder beast's relic fused with the flying swords, its volume instantly expanded by 1,000 times. I've almost become a nuclear reactor generating electricity. 49 flying swords, and every one of them is super powerful. Dahei's body trembled as golden light swallowed and sliced everything around him. Even the hard ground was like tofu as more electric currents surged into his body. The endless electric currents formed sparks as they all fused into Dahei's body. Dahei became stronger and stronger, but his body was shrinking. He didn't even have a horn, and his wings had retracted into his body. He had turned into a cat again, returning to my original state. In the future, I won't rely on wings to fly, but on energy. Dahei smiled. His powerful psychic energy created all sorts of illusions in front of Jiangli. Jiangli couldn't tell how strong Dahei was. 3 days from now, we'll go wipe out the Sun-Moon group in the black market. It might be dangerous, and you'll be the most powerful assassin in the shadows. Jiangli said to Dahei, during these 3 days, I'll teach you some of the things behind the Grand Emperor's seal. There are 4 seal arts: water, fire, wind, and lightning, as well as a heart seal. However, I haven't learned them yet. With my current strength, learning them wouldn't benefit me at all. In fact, it would only exhaust my psychic energy. Water, fire, wind, and lightning. Good. 4 great elements. Dahei sat down cross-legged, looking like a divine being as if he was teaching Jiangli. Jiangli transmitted his thoughts to Dahei and began to demonstrate the cultivation of the 4 seals of water, fire, wind, and lightning. Dahei pondered deeply and immediately began to meditate. However, I have a unique understanding of the 4 seals. Dahei's fur kept trembling. Water, fire, wind, and thunder are all heavenly powers. Using the elements as particles, the human heart controls the elements, creating all kinds of strange sceneries. Each element is scattered in different dimensions, and communicating with the elements is communicating with the dimensions. The human body cannot pass through dimensions, but the human heart can. However, the human heart does not know where the dimensions are, so how can it communicate? Where can it find clues? Therefore, the elements are the clues. The human heart communicates with the elements and searches for the elements, thereby finding more dimensions and understanding more universes and truths. Cultivating the 4 seals is not to comprehend humanity, nor is it to comprehend the mysteries of water, fire, wind, and thunder itself. Instead, it is to use water, fire, wind, and thunder as bridges and traces to obtain the mysteries of dimensions and the truth of the universe. This is my understanding. The water, fire, wind, and thunder themselves are not important. What's important is the real universe behind them. Only by understanding this universe can we talk about the void realm. How can we talk about the void realm when we haven't even fully understood the physical world itself? What? Jiangli was shocked. Dahei's understanding was thought-provoking. It was like a sudden clap of thunder that blew up his heart. The 4 seals themselves were not important. What was important was to use the 4 seals as traces to find the dimension behind them, broaden one's mind, understand the universe, and understand the most profound theory of the physical world. This was something that even Hong Heiyu did not think of. This was Dahei's view of the world, using the world view of a cat to explain the divine technique. The Sage King game seems to be very popular. I heard from Scumbag that it crashed on the first day. Brothers who are still playing can go to this website to get the exclusive privilege card of the Divine Arms Battalion. Those who are not playing can also go in and try it out. See how it's different from my novel. Chapter 185. Dahei's view of the world was unique. It was completely different from humans. This was innate and could not be changed. This was because it was a cat and not a human. Even though it had learned a lot of human knowledge and civilization, it was still a cat. Cats were destined to be different from humans. Their way of thinking, cultivation, and cultivation all had an unparalleled uniqueness to them. Right from the start, Dahei's mysticism was revealed. In fact, it had formed ties with the great emperor's relic even earlier than Jiangli. As for its comprehension of the great Emperor's seal, it was also fast. In an instant Jiang Li's world seemed to open up. He had mastered many martial arts. The great Emperor's 4 seals continued to unfold in front of him. Water, fire, wind, and lightning. These weren't the main bodies, but the 4 elements, 4 traces, and 4 types of energy. These 4 elements came from the void and were destroyed in the void. They didn't represent the secular water, fire, wind, and lightning, but the dimensional world behind them. He closed his eyes and started to comprehend the void. His view of the world opened up again. He felt that the void in front of him was covered in a layer of fog. Behind the fog were layers of different dimensions. He could feel them, but he couldn't see them. He could guess them, but he couldn't touch them. As long as he tore through this layer of fog, he would be able to see the true appearance of the world. At that time, his spirit would be able to absorb the elements and flames in the void. Emptiness, flower of enlightenment. Blackie muttered to himself. Around its body, a stream of air condensed into a flower. It was transparent, empty, clear, and untainted. It was a heavenly flower of air currents. The celestial flower kept falling, and its claws formed seals. The 4 seals of the great monarch that it was practicing did not have any smoke or fire. Instead, it was like a soothing piece of music. It was as if it was not performing the lightning, the fierce wind, the merciless water, and the merciless fire, but was seeking the Tao. Your 4 seals of the great Emperor is still in its original form. It pursues the fierceness and shock of the thunder seal, but it has its original form. It pursues the speed and sharpness of the wind seal, but it is still a form. As the saying goes, if you see the different forms, you will see that the 4 seals of the great Emperor is a boat crossing the river. Our goal is not to get on the boat, but to cross the river. Dahe continued to evolve. The sword pellet in his body was spinning and giving off a metallic sound. There were also many souls crying and howling. This was a spiritual grievance and negative energy. This was because the 7 slaughter demon sword had been refined by an expert. It was unknown how many people it had killed, and how many people's life potential and spiritual resentment it had absorbed. Once it was used, it could cause an extremely strong shock to one's spirit. The sword itself could hypnotize, and it was much more powerful than ordinary hypnosis. After Jiang Li obtained this sword, he fed it with flesh and blood for many days. He didn't activate the mystery within, but Dahe's spirit realm was more profound than Jiang Li's. He immediately activated the mystery of this sword. Its power was swift, dark, mysterious, and unbelievable. This 7 slaughter demon sword has spirituality. It is a demon nature formed by countless negative energies of grievance. Its spiritual power can harm experts in the embryonic breathing realm. It is difficult to control. When the sword slashes, not only will it slash your body, but it will also slash your spirit. You have integrated it into your flesh and blood, but it didn't activate the demon in it. What do you think? Dahe suddenly moved. Jiang Li widened his eyes. He could only feel the cold air around him. Behind Dahe, a transparent shadow appeared. This shadow was wearing a long black robe. It had a skull and ferocious horns. In its mouth there was a small trident. Its chest, back, and shoulders were each stabbed with 7 sharp knives. Facing his ferocious smile, it was bone-chilling. He felt like he had fallen into an icy hell. This isn't an illusion. This is a real body. It's a demon. Jiang Li was shocked. That's right, this is a demon. It really isn't an illusion, but it really exists in this physical world. Dahe turned on the optical computer screen. There was a temperature display. The entire room's temperature was -30 degrees Celsius. A drop of water would freeze. It was definitely caused by the demon. The demon is formed by negative energy. It is also a form of energy. Its use is to swallow a person's blood, flesh, and life potential. It absorbs yang qi, which is also positive energy. This demon is very strong, and even I can't control it. However, it is bound in the sword sphere, otherwise I would have become a dried corpse. Of course, it is afraid of lightning. The electricity in my body is a great counter to it. If it was you who activated the demon would suck you dry first. The demon that Dahe released suddenly turned on a switch. Instantly, a strong electric current entered its body. The demon howled unwillingly and shrank back into its body. Damn! Jiangli almost cursed out loud. Luckily my cultivation isn't high enough and I didn't activate the demon. This demon's negative energy is so strong that I definitely can't resist it. Why didn't Hong Heiyu tell me about it first? Hong Heiyu didn't tell you the secrets of the 7 slaughter demon sword at the start because he wanted you to figure it out yourself. With a strong will, you can subdue the demon. This is training for you. But his training is really vicious because you almost died. Tsk, tisk. Dahe laughed. If I didn't have the body of a sky-shaking lightning beast, I wouldn't have been able to subdue the demon. You have to be careful in the future. Hong Heiyu is planning everything to train you. Yes, I have to be careful. Although he has good intentions, he's too vicious. If I'm not careful, I'll fall into a dead end. Jiang Li shuddered again. This 7 slaughter demon sword's true power will only appear when the demon is activated. But there's a drawback, and that is that the demon will wreak havoc in your body at all times, causing you unbearable pain. It's 100 million times more painful than drug addiction. At this time, you have to kill to alleviate your pain. You have to kill continuously and absorb people's life potential to obtain positive energy to feed the demon. At the same time, the demon will reward you by treating you as a slave and giving you some benefit. So, whoever obtains the 7 slaughter demon sword will need to kill continuously once it is refined into their body. If they don't kill every day, they'll be in extreme pain. They'll be neither human nor ghost. Even if you have an extremely strong spirit, you won't be able to endure it. This is because the demon doesn't just invade your spirit. It's a wave of negative energy that corrodes your body from both the void realm and the physical realm. Dahe said calmly. Then, how are you now? When Jiangli heard this explanation, he instantly understood. As expected, this sword wasn't a good thing. He couldn't help but worry for Dahe. I'm not much, but I still have to kill people. Dahe smiled. The demon is fighting against me, so I have to be wary of it at all times. This is also a type of cultivation, so what am I afraid of? With a demon in my body, it can spur me on and urge me. I can't ask for more. Moreover, because the sky-shaking thunder beast gene is incomplete, I can't absorb too much thunder and lightning. But with the demon, I can absorb it endlessly and at the same time, counter it. If this goes on, sooner or later, I will refine the demon and obtain the strongest realm and power. The 7 slaughter demon sword is perfect for me. How much is your life force now? Jiangli asked. Does the more I kill, the stronger my cultivation gets? You'll know my life force in battle. The 7 slaughter demon sword, of course, the more I kill, the stronger my life force. However, most of the potential is taken by the demon, but I am different. If the demon wants to take that potential, I will use the strength of lightning to let it know what pain is. Moreover, my great Emperor Lightning Seal can only be enslaved by me. If they want to enslave me, that's just wishful thinking. Dahe said, let's start cultivating. I'll explain to you the 4 seals of the Great Sovereign that I know. You have to be careful. Without the flying sword, your vitality is extremely weak, and your combat effectiveness is greatly reduced. I'm afraid you'll be in a difficult situation in the battle in 3 days. I have the Great Emperor Relic, so maybe I will be the one to topple Jiang Nalin's statue. Jiangli could hide in the space of the Great Emperor Relic and kill people. However, he didn't need to kill people now. He would leave all that to Dahe. One man and one cat, they just sat opposite one another. It wasn't a man teaching the Tao to the cat, but the cat explaining the supreme Tao to him. Jiang Li combined the cat's view of the world and merged it with his own. As he cultivated and comprehended, he slowly entered a new realm. His cultivation was at great meditation, and he tried many times to break through to constant meditation, but he didn't succeed. However, his mind slowly became firmer. Under Hong Heiyu's training, he experienced hellish torture and started to comprehend. He then gave up on the flying sword and deepened his understanding. Now that he cultivated with Dahe, he benefited a lot. In the future, he would definitely be able to reach constant meditation. But now, he was still unable to break through that layer of fog and understand his own path. Unknowingly, 3 days had passed. Beep, beep, beep. The sound of the mail woke Jiang Li up from his meditation. He opened his eyes and saw that it was from Rulai. "Brother, come to Red Emperor Corporation. We are about to head out, kill." The last word showed Rulai's killing intent. It was obvious that 3 days ago, the Jiang family's attitude had infuriated him. He ordered the Wang family around and didn't care about them at all. "I'll be right there," Jiang Li replied and stood up. "I'll go to the black market first." Dahe also floated in the air. He seemed to be wrapped in energy. This was the energy of the Yin demon and the flying sword, as well as the power of lightning. The Yin demon is hungry and thirsty. Killing can increase my strength, so why not? Go. South Dahe had already disappeared. His speed was so fast that it surpassed the speed of sound. There was no sonic boom or smoke at all. This kind of flying was simply limitless and formless. Jiang Li also went out, leaving the flower-faced overlord, Demeng, and the other kittens in the city. This battle did not require these kittens. Although their vitality was also very strong, and they could easily defeat a powerhouse with a vitality of 1, this battle involved high-level martial arts, and it was very easy for them to die. He returned to Red Emperor Corporation. The battle of life and death was today. After today, either I no longer exist, or the Jiang family's power will be wiped out in the black market. Chapter 186. Jiang Li, why has your vitality regressed so much? When Wang Rulai first saw Jiang Li, he felt that something was wrong. Upon closer inspection, he found that Jiang Li's physical strength and vitality had regressed greatly. It used to be above 5, but now it was barely at 4 and was even weaker. This was simply a case of misfortune. Seeing that a life-and-death battle was imminent, not only had his vitality not improved, but it had regressed. This was not a good sign. It doesn't matter. Wang Changrong waved his hand. Jiang Li has his own plans. Originally, his body had fused with the flying sword, causing his strength to rapidly rise. But now, he has abandoned the flying sword and given it to someone else. This is because the flying sword has cultivated with him for a long time and has absorbed a great deal of his life potential. After giving it away, his life force will naturally regress. But this is also good. By abandoning the flying sword, he can obtain spiritual satisfaction. Only by giving up can one gain. Since his vitality has regressed, he naturally has other means of lethality. That's right. Although my vitality has regressed, my lethality hasn't. Those 20 hypersonic mechas didn't even need me to deal with them. Jiang Li was fearless. First, Dahe's lethality was now very powerful. Every time he killed someone, he could completely absorb their life potential to refine the flying sword, and he could also expand his own vitality. Second, he could control the space of the Emperor's relic and exert a power that was more than 5 times the speed of sound. His lethality was even stronger than when he controlled the flying sword. Moreover, the Emperor's relic was not afraid of mind invasion. Whoever tried to invade the Emperor's relic would be crushed by the Emperor's power contained in the relic. This was also the reason why he had abandoned the flying sword. Good. Wang Rulai's eyes flickered. He seemed to have noticed something. Jiang Li, you're really powerful. You actually hit a chess piece, didn't you? Those 49 flying swords are extremely lethal. Even with our Wang family's wealth, it would be difficult for us to take out such flying swords. You definitely wouldn't waste them. I wonder which expert you subdued? You'll know when the battle begins. Jiang Li smiled. I'm ready. Let's head out now. However, we won't be taking a flying car or a train to enter the black market. We'll directly enter the space of my great emperor's relic and suddenly appear there. This way, no one will know that we've arrived at the black market. This way, we'll be able to catch the Jiang family off guard. What? Your grand emperor relic can fly on its own? I thought it would only be able to carry items. Wang Changrong's eyes lit up. Of course. Jiang Li was about to do something when suddenly, a loud alarm sounded from outside. Then, many cars appeared. These cars were all police cars. They circled in the sky and landed on the Red Emperor Corporation's island. A large number of police officers got out of the cars and started to seal up the place. Beep, beep, beep. Some of the executives hired by the Red Emperor Corporation reported to Jiang Li through the optical computer. The police have come to seal up the Red Emperor Corporation. They said that they're executing the court's order to seal up the entire corporation's asset. All of the corporation's procedures have been stopped, and we're waiting for the court's decision. Right now, no one is allowed to move. Ha ha! A burst of wild laughter sounded in the hall. This time, it was Jiang Zhenyue. Beside him was a white judge with an extraordinary aura. Obviously, he wasn't a judge from the 36 watching, but a judge from the Earth's Supreme Court. Hello, I'm a judge from the Earth's Supreme Court, Werner. The white judge walked over and said politely, Mr. Wang, Mr. Jiang, I believe you've received the summons from the court. Your lawyers have also contacted us, so the entire case has started. Now, because of a dispute over the Red Emperor Corporation's property rights and research results, we have to seal up the entire Red Emperor Corporation's assets to prevent any party from selling them at will. Sure. Jiang Li, Wang Changrong, and Wang Rulai had already expected this result. Their faces were calm. What's going on? Why did you seal up my lab? An angry voice came from below. A middle-aged man in a scientific research uniform walked out of the elevator with an angry expression. My research has just reached the most critical moment, and I've already started analyzing the energy. This is a major achievement, and it can't be interrupted. It was Jiang Zhendong. He was extremely angry that his lab was suddenly sealed up, so he came out to ask what was going on. Jiang Zhendong, you're still doing your research? What a brainless person. Let me tell you, everything about you is under our control. You want to betray your family and research the latest sun and moon essence? Dream on. Have you forgotten the agreement you signed back then? Jiang Zhenyue sneered again. Jiang Zhenyue, you're the one playing tricks. Jiang Zhendong's eyes seemed to be burning with flames. Dream on. I must research the sun and moon essence without any side effects, put it into the regular market, and completely destroy the rotten Sun and Moon Corporation. Then only death awaits you. Jiang Zhenyue looked as if he was in control of the situation and was determined to win. He glanced at everyone present and said, You've spent at least a few billion to establish the Red Emperor Corporation. You've bet all your assets on it, right? What a pity, Jiang Zhendong. As long as I take the contract you signed and sue you, all your research results and even the group's assets will belong to the Jiang family. Even you yourself will belong to the Jiang family. This is an ironclad fact. Although you don't want to admit it, you have to. Mr. Jiang Zhenyue, please watch your words. The white judge, Werner, said emotionlessly, This is a civil lawsuit, not a criminal case. You can't threaten the personal safety of the defendant. Humph. Jiang Zhenyue snorted. Yes, I did sign a contract with you, but you didn't fulfill your promise. You first tore up the contract and said that if I could research the sun and moon essence, I would be rewarded and given a series of personal freedom. But you didn't do it. Jiang Zhendong calmed down. Your Honor, can you not seal my laboratory? My experiment is at a critical stage, I can't give up my research. I'm sorry, Mr. Jiang Zhendong. We're going through formal legal procedures. Werner was expressionless as he went through the usual procedures. The laboratory must be sealed up. Also, you'll be restricted from leaving Earth and leaving the country at will. Father, don't say any more. This is a legal procedure. With one look, Jiang Li knew that Judge Werner did not care about anyone. He would not show any mercy. This was the quality of a judge. He only recognized the law and not human feelings. Jiang Zhendong, don't struggle pointlessly. Jiang Zhenyue said fiercely. Your son killed my son. You fell into my hands. I will naturally make you repay your son's debt. And you little bastard, do you think I won't take revenge for Jianglu? Don't think that you can sit back and relax just because you're admitted to Starry Sky University. Jiang Zhenyue, your Jiang family is aggressive. You're good at this, but wait and see. Jiang Li's tone was cold. He didn't want to say much because today was the time for a battle of life and death. We've been waiting for a long time. People of the Wang family, we're also waiting for you. Jiang Zhenlei entered the hall and strode forward. His voice was impassioned. Wang Kurong, Wang Rulai, your Wang family won't be able to jump around for a few days. I, Jiang Zhenlei, will destroy you completely. Mr. Wang, Mr. Jiang, now the entire island, together with the 3 mountains by the sea, will be sealed. You must move out within an hour. Otherwise, we will enforce it and detain you for 3 days according to the crime of obstructing public affairs, Werner said coldly. Come on, let's go out now. Wang Rulai patted Jiang Li on the shoulder. I've found a safe place to settle your parents. Don't worry. Well, let's go. Jiang Li was expressionless. Ha! Jiang Zhenlei laughed wildly again. Wang Rulai, you've brought a lot of wealth and forbidden drugs. You've also sealed them here. Later, the court and the police will work together to count the property of the entire Red Emperor group. If they find the storage room of those forbidden drugs, it won't be a civil case anymore. You've violated human law. I'm afraid you'll be imprisoned for the rest of your life. You'll be exiled to Rakshasa Star or even more dangerous places. Then you can check it. Wang Rulai's expression didn't change. He had already walked out with Jiang Li. Jiang Zhenyue looked at their backs and thought about it. He wondered, why are these 2 little bastards so calm? Humph, they're just putting on a brave front because they want to save face. Jiang Zhenlei turned around and said, but it's very likely that they'll do something desperate. We have to be prepared. Let's rush back to Sun Moon City immediately, lest they wipe out our people. That's what we're waiting for. Jiang Zhenyue smiled gloomily, as if everything was under his control. Now we're forcing these people step by step, forcing them to start a fire, and then entering the black market to stir up trouble. We've set up an inescapable net and are waiting for them to come. When the time comes, we'll catch them all. Especially that little bastard, Jiang Li, he'll definitely go. Even so, we still can't take it lightly. Jiang Zhenlei pondered for a moment and also walked out. Let's go back to the black market now. Once the holy statue of Saint Naren is set up, no evil can invade it. But this time we're completely against the Wang family. We also have to be prepared for the Wang family's counterattack. A centipede dies but never falls down, let alone a giant like the Wang family. Then we'll catch Wang Rulai this time. Should we kill Wang Kurong? Jiang Zhenyue was also lost in thought. Kill. Jiang Zhenlei's voice was powerful, and suddenly a strong killing intent burst out. Since the Wang family is against us, we must eradicate them. Our Jiang family wants to expand, and the Wang family is indeed a stumbling block. Anyway, now that our Saint Naren's cultivation has skyrocketed, and the resources of the old ancestors' cave abode that he killed have been transported to the elite area. If we achieve something here, the higher-ups will give us the resources. Kill Wang Rulai and Wang Kurong, and completely break with the Wang family. Okay, then let's completely break with them. Let's see how the Wang family can resist our Saint Naren. Jiang Jinyue's tone also became fierce. But it's a pity to kill them. We can control them and use them as human genetic experiments, turning them into half-human, half-ghost genetically mutated humans. By then, although they will have strong combat power, they will be completely our slaves. As long as we implant chips in their heads, we can completely control their thoughts. It's a pity to kill these two powerful people. That's exactly what I want. Jiang Zhenlei clapped his hands. In fact, in the Jiang family, our old master Jiang Haitian only manages the base on the moon. He doesn't have enough power. If we control Wang Rulai and Wang Kurong, not only can we increase the number of experts, but we can also ask for compensation and resources from the Wang family. Jiang Zhenyue nodded in agreement. He and Jiang Zhenlei also withdrew from the Red Emperor group, which had started to be sealed. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.